I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good. Let's start.
The 12 tribes of Israel in 721 BC. The Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. The highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us
at gunpoint.
Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A high gatherer Asher in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. A highest gathering Israel. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. A highest gathering Israel. Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathering of Christ Church, here live with Elder Lawyer. That's right. He's not coming in remote right now, so that's convenience. And we have a great broadcast for you all. You all know the routine. Please hit one of the buttons. I don't care if you like or dislike. It drives the algorithms based on the fact that YouTube and other platforms are shadow banning truth. Okay? So please hit the button so we can drive the traffic here so brothers and sisters know we're live. Unfortunately, we're not going to be here a long time, but we have a great topic for you. I always say that, but I'm going to try to keep that within. We're going to try to keep this broadcast this evening within 2 hours in preparation for the Passover this weekend. Mm-hmm. Yes. Someone says the sound is low. The sound seems like it's fine here. Let's see what we can do for you. One moment here. Okay, is this a little better with the microphone closer here? Is the sound better? Yes? Okay, they say the sound is good. Okay. All right. So there's a lot going on right now in preparation for the Passover. Because of the Passover, I can't be here till 11 o'clock tonight, unfortunately. But there's a lot of we have a lot of broadcasting for you this weekend. Don't even worry about it. We have the Passover 2-night event. We will be broadcasting Friday and Saturday night live from the location. The first time in over a year we have gotten together based on a whole year without a Passover. So brothers and sisters are excited about that.
Absolutely.
I know I am. And we're going to try something different. This year we're going to have it remoted from different areas where the Passover is being held. So you'll be able to see us live from the East Coast, from the West Coast into the Midwest. We're going to also try to get our overseas brothers and sisters involved in the UK and different parts of the world, so that while they're having their Passover, if there's an intermission or something, you'll see a transition to the other churches within the earth. So we have AC working on that now. All praises be to the Most High. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. And yes, this Passover, Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, okay, which is the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, is the true Passover according to the original calendar, according to the original Sabbath calendar. Okay. And I know people are talking about moon this and moon that, not realizing that when the calendar was set, each year at a fixed time, that new moon would be different. It wouldn't be the same shade or shape every year based on the Passover. It had nothing to do with that. Okay. Each year, a new moon is different. A new month has a different shade of moon. Okay. Why? Because the moon only gives us 354 days in a calendar year. It comes up 10 days short. 30 days, 6 months, 29 days, 6 months. There's no leap years. There's none of that other stuff. 6 months, 30 days, and 6 months, 29 days. Do the math. So when people are looking for the slither of the moon or full moon, and you're going to always be thrown off, because when you look at the old calendars, that's right. The astronomers, the astronomers, as well as those priests who set up the holy days and followed the holy days, understood the moons were different from year to year, not the days. That means the Passover isn't going to be on a Friday this year and a Wednesday next year. The moons are different, not the days. All holy days are on a fixed time every year. Okay. Now, get your calendar. Get your calendar. Go to gathertochrist.org. Get the calendar. It gives you the Sabbaths broken down and the holy days in between, so you're on schedule with the heavens. When we fell to Babylon, we begin to follow the moon only. Okay? I wanted to put that out there. A matter of fact, let me get a pseudepigrapha real quick. One moment. Let me see if I have a pseudepigrapha here. And I do. Go to our library here. Elder Lawyer, yes. If you can get me Jubilees out there where the Most High gave this to Moses. Jubilees is the secrets of the times that is spoken about in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. And when you go into the book of Jubilees, it says expressly, he told Moses, always deal with your holy days and your counting according to Sabbaths, and do not follow the moon. If you follow the moon only, you're going to go off and profane my high holy days. And this is why he's the Most High all through the scriptures, Exodus 20, re-emphasizing, Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Remember. It's not just talking about the weekly Sabbath. Okay. The whole year is a Sabbath of 52 weeks. Your yearly Sabbaths. Or you're going to go off. Read it for me, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Jubilees 6:32. And command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning.
According to this reckoning, God said, Ahiah said, this is how we do it.
364 days.
How many days?
364 days.
364 days. Read.
And these will constitute a complete year.
These will constitute a complete year.
And they will not be disturbed in its time, from its days, and from its feast, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony.
Everything will fall out of course if you do this, Israel. If you don't deal with 364 days, that means the heavens will continue to calculate that way, but the whole earth is out of course. So what we're doing isn't something new. It's just new to you all because we fell as a people and the Gentiles deceived us concerning our times and Sabbath and holy days. This is how they stay empowered over God's people. By disturbing our connection with the Most High, only to replace it with what? Pagan holidays. See? And if the Most High was mad at his people for following this, don't forget, he didn't give the laws to the Gentiles. So the Gentiles aren't punished for doing this. Okay? This is their world. This is their power, their empire. So judgment is coming upon the coming of Christ. But they're not punished for doing these pagan days. We are. See, and this is why they push it on us, because they understood that these are the holy days or holidays that led to the fall of Israel. When we began to practice the ceremonies and sacrifices of the Gentile nations. Hence, they told us to follow the moon. We learned that in Babylon. Do your research. Read.
And they will neglect their ordinances, and all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons.
When it says new moons, when you look at the commentary here, it have nothing to do with the moon and the sky. It's new months, which are intercalary days for changes of seasons. So you see that moon there, and you think it says moon, but when you look in the translation, it's month. See? Intercalary is the change of seasons. You have 4 per year. 360 days, and in between the 360, 4 to separate the seasons. 364. 52 Sabbaths. 5 and 2 is 7. Read that last piece again, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. And the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new months and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years.
And they will go wrong to all the order of the years. You'll start we would lose calculations, or the calculation of time, according to God, according to the Almighty. We are not in year 2020. That's a lie. And Satan did this. He did this with his elite powers and all those under Julius Caesar and others, straight Satanists. Okay? Did this on purpose. So that people who are looking at Bible prophecy would believe that the Bible isn't true, because why? People are living way past the time span that was prophesied by thinking they are in the year 2020, counting from the day of our Lord. They're liars. Okay? We're not in the year 2020. Okay? In reality, and I did the research and we've broken this down in the academy, they have added hundreds of years to the calendar and have deceived. And when we woke up in slavery, And they started training us as children to put the dates on the papers. That's what make us believe we're in this year. Okay. But you look at the calendars of China, Babylon, different parts of Greece, even Ethiopia. Everyone is on a different calendar. When God made one earth. Go figure. So we're in 2020, but in Ethiopia, they're in another year. The Greek islands have the closest time to the time we should be under. They lied. They always lie. So we woke up in slavery and we woke up in a new time with no research to be able to question the lie concerning the years. Read it.
For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising. For the book lies written before me on the heavenly tablets. The division of the days is ordained.
The what?
The division of days is ordained.
The division of days are ordained from heaven. Not from Julian calendar, Gregorian calendar, or any other. Daniel 7:25 expressly told us about the fourth beast. We broke him down. We broke down the fourth beast last week in the academy. That they should think to change times and laws. The fourth beast are who? The Roman Empire. Okay. The Roman Empire did this. Julius Caesar. After Gregorian, all these were Romans lying and would think to change times and laws. Who times? Who laws? Ours. The book belongs to us. The laws, statutes, and commandments were given to the children of Israel. So they wasn't looking to change what the Gentiles were doing. They were looking to disturb the days we connect with our God. Henceforth become subservient to the Gentiles who serve these lesser gods. For Easter, who's the goddess the star. For Christmas, celebrating the virgin birth of Tammuz, Nimrod incarnate. Has nothing to do with Christ and Mary. Read it.
Lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
Read it again. The Most High warned Moses that people would start calculating time. What?
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
They would be looking outside for the slithering of the moon, which is utterly ridiculous because the moon followed the sun in courses for time, not the other way around. Okay, not the other way around. The sun leads in course, not the moon. You have the greater light and the lesser light. So in order for you to tell time, it's like you looking at a clock, attempting to tell time with one hand. When the Most High made the moon and the sun and the moon, which is the lesser light. So you won't know the course of the new moon unless you know the course of time according to the sun, because the sun takes a 364-day course. So you don't know what moon you're in or new moon for that particular year if you're not following the sun with it. Got it? Read it.
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
Of the moon.
How it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year, 10 days too soon.
And the Most High told Moses, listen, don't observe the moon because the annual clock for the moon, it comes in annually 10 days early in comparison to what? The lunar cycle. See? I mean, the solar cycle. It comes in 10 days early, which is 354 days. See? You can't take a calculation with the moon when the moon is a 354-day annual cycle. Read it again.
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
And that's the mistake people will make. They'll go where it says the moon and the moon and the moon. And that's Most High says the moon. Okay, what about the sun? We're not discounting that it says the moon. In proximity to what it follows in its courses. It's both. So you have to know what's going on with the sun to know what moon is a new moon from year to year. It's not the slither of the moon or a full moon or a half moon. It's whatever it is during that course, during the 364 day in proximity of the sun. It changes every year. See? Read.
How it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon.
10 days too soon. So he says, watch it, because our people are going to be following and trying to do holy days, looking at the moon only. Mistake. Okay. Now I'm giving you this information from experience, being one who, when I first learned I was a Hebrew, was following the old way of using the moon. So it's not foreign to me. I know what it is every year to have to pull up a calendar and try to look at the moon and try to figure out what day the Passover is going to be on based on the moon only. I was there already. But the Most High opened understanding that he gave Moses. It's in the records. And this is why every Hebrew, including the Jewish people, each year their holy days switch to different days of the week. A Passover will be Tuesday this year and Wednesday or Thursday next year or Saturday next year. And the Most High says his holy days are at a fixed time each year. The same way the Sabbath is a fixed time from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, so are his holy days. Which means if they fall on a Friday this year, they're going to fall on a Friday next year. See? The Most High isn't the author of confusion. Finish reading.
For this reason, the years will come upon them when they disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony.
They will make an abominable day, a day of testimony, a day that should be with the Most High. It's abominable. An abomination, because while you're trying to acknowledge it and work and connecting with the Most High, that day done passed already. You were supposed to do that. And you're gonna come with full fervency, thinking that it's the same time the Most High said do it. Now, the Bible says, in times past, he winked at our ignorance. But now command everyone everywhere to repent. When we didn't know any better, okay, grace covered you then. The same way we didn't know that Sunday worship was wrong, that it was Babylonian. The Most High still accepted our prayer and our worships in ignorance, because he knew we were trying our best. But we were off. The Gentiles did what? Put us off of the Most High's time. So he understood that, and God gave us grace. But there's no excuse now. There's no excuse. And when you get people out there saying, well, who knows now? This is what they're saying now. Even Hebrews. Well, who knows at this point? Well, when Christ come back, he'll put us back on the right time. You have Hebrews saying that. Well, okay. Well, why aren't you saying that to the Christians who are worshiping on Sunday? So when you were saying Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, it was all good. But when you found out that applied to holy days too at a fixed time, and that there were teachings out there that was contrary to what the Jewish people were doing based on what you're following. Now it's, well, it really doesn't matter. We're under grace now. The same grace we don't afford Christians. Right? That's straight up hypocrisy. Don't say, well, we got to wait till the Most High come, but yet put the Gentiles and the Christian church feet to the fire for worshiping Sunday then. Either we're going to do it or not. Okay? This information is readily out there and is not restricted or condensed only or held only within the gathering of Christ Church. That's why we put the information out there, which means anyone out there, and it doesn't matter what group you are, if you are a Hebrew, if you are Israelite, if you believe in Christ, you can readily get this information and research it yourself. And if you deny it, it's only because you choose to do so. Okay? Finish reading.
It says, for this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy, for they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify that thou mayest testify to them.
Tell them. He said, Moses, tell my people down there that were there on the plains near Mount Sinai. Go down and tell my people. Now, this was along with remember the Sabbath. Read.
For this reason I command and testify thee that thou mayest testify to them, for after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only.
He says, when you die, Moses, my people, your people down there, are going to go off and not going to reckon days or reckon a year, 364 days only. That's total confusion, telling people 365 and 3/4.2 days and all this crap. What is that? That's total confusion. And we listen to these simple demons that you think are educators, when the only thing they have to do is count to 7. Read.
And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
And another thing, let me put this out here. This is not to challenge anyone. We just giving you what the Most High gave Moses. We're following it. A matter of fact, we put the calendar together where people can get it and get on time. Okay, we kept the time. The Most High gave us this information through fervent research. Almost 10 years ago, almost. Mm-hmm. About 10 years ago. Through fervent research and study, and we got the time from Greenwich overseas, Mount Sinai time, equal parts night and day, and the Naval Observatory time here in America. And at the same time, at that time, all three were right on point, equal parts night, equal part day. Even from Sinai, where you got it, the borders of Saudi Arabia. We got all that time, and during that time, all three laid equal parts night and equal parts day perfectly. And once that was done, there was no need to do it ever again. The Most High gave it to us at that time to do what? Put out the correct time of year. Once you have that, you count 364 and the rest falls in place. Okay? It's quite that simple. So at this point, y'all really don't have to go through the research and jump through the hoops and months of study and all that we've already gone through. You can get the calendar and just be on time. You have others who would come to us and question us about the time when really 364 days. Something that none of us knew in the world, being deceived by Gentiles, right? I need y'all to think about that for a moment. But as soon as we bring the time, there's questions. And no one is questioning the white Jews and other people on why they do it the way they do it. No one questioned your pastor. No one questioned the authority concerning the holy days you were celebrating in the world. So I find that disingenuous. Okay. We gave you the information. The Most High said, if you don't follow it, this is what's going to happen with you. Okay. You're not going to be in connection with the Most High concerning holy days, and you'll call a day that you think is a holy day, and you'll profane and do something wrong on the Most High Sabbath, believing that it's a regular day. We've done our job. That's all it is. So you got it. It's out there for you. I want to go over it with you because we are about to go into the Passover. And of course, we all cannot come together like we would like, being that there's so many people that view us online, whatever the case is, and there's limited capacity, under some of the guidelines, but we're going to have a beautiful time for the Most High, and we're working around the clock to make sure, brothers and sisters, that you are included, at least if it's at the least online with us, seeing the high holy day, seeing how we do it, how we praise the Almighty together. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And I wanted to put it out there for the brothers and sisters because, of some of these, restrictions that are out there now that we can gather. All praises be to the Most High. That if you are feeling under the weather, which is something contagious, we would appreciate it if you would just, stay back just like you are now, within the comfortability of your own home, and enjoy the Passover from there. Have some flatbread, bread without yeast in it, and some wine, and take communion with your brothers and sisters. Okay? When we raise the bread and we raise the wine, guess what? It's the same thing going on up in the heavenly realm as far as what? The holy days are being. That's right. They are actually going on and are being celebrated from the heavens the same time you and I are doing it. So even if we're not in the same room, the Most High, Christ, the angels, they're looking down into the earth, and there's beacons of light who have come to this truth and are acknowledging Christ's sacrifice for our nation, for the sins of the world. And that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to him. It comes down to Christ. And we're doing everything we can to put everyone on that same schedule together so that our prayers can go up into heaven together, to ask the Most High to forgive our sins, to protect us, hedge our households, heal our families. Okay, hold off the enemy who's assailing our people, using psychology, using all types of different types of witchcraft, sorcery, okay, and deceit to destroy our people. Make sure we put that out there all together. Ask the Most High to send forth the holy angels to protect us and protect our children from the times to come. That's what this is really about. Shoring up God's family on earth as his church. Okay? Going into times of serious tribulation. Which leads us to our topic. And I thank you all. You're doing a great job, brothers and sisters. You're doing a great job with the like button, and I really appreciate it. Or the dislike. I don't care, as long as you drive the traffic here. And I hope some of what I went over helps you understand, okay, that the holy day we're doing, you're not going to find too many people doing anything, especially the Gentiles this weekend, and they're going to look at it and scratch their head and say, what are y'all doing? The same way on New Year's, we were saying New Year's, and everyone was like, what? That's next week. No, it ain't. No, you're listening to the devil. Okay. This weekend is Passover weekend according to the heavens, according to the Most High. Okay? So that leads us to our topic. Our topic, and we're going to open up the lines. Our topic is chosen for the truth. That's our topic this evening. What does it mean to be chosen? And when I mention and when I talk about chosen for the truth, the questions are out there. And Elder Lawyer, you can jump in at any time.
Yes, sir.
But who will endure? Chosen for the truth. But who will endure? Now, I put that out there, folks, because we're really setting the table, no pun intended, for our discussion leading into Passover weekend. Chosen for the truth, but who will endure? What does it mean to be chosen? What does it mean? And on top of that, what is our responsibility in being the chosen? Because, brothers and sisters, keep in mind, it doesn't come with any what you would call fanfare or cooperation from the world. You will go through tribulation. And I'm going to talk about that today. What does it mean when we say that, okay, we were chosen for the truth? Now, there's a lot of things that are going on right now in the earth that I'm going to highlight, okay, that we're going to talk about today. Nick Cannon. Now, let me make it clear, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there that are really coming hard at brother Nick Cannon. And the best I can say is understand the position he's in. That's number one. Okay? And brothers and sisters, you have to realize he wasn't called to be a prophet, teacher, or initially. Here you go. Let me get that. Thank you. I appreciate it. He wasn't called. This is you can have that. I'll take that one. You have him? Okay, great. I appreciate it. You're out. Keep in mind that what I see in the brother, and I look at him as a younger brother, what I see in the man is someone who was fervent, gung-ho, with a lot of information, who needed guidance on how to articulate, his message. That's what I see, more so than someone that people, he's sold out, he's this. Nah, I understand when you first get this truth and the fire and the veracity you go without care of how it affect others. I understand what that is. I know the truth. I got the truth. But that's a young person wilderness sport and don't realize how dangerous it is. I've been there. And I'm not just talking about, and some people feel a certain type of way because, okay, he was telling the truth about Jewish, whatever the case is. Doesn't have nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. Look at how you get the truth and become a lion in your own house. Change when it comes to your wife, or change when it comes to your husband. Treat your family a certain type of way, and you're thinking and claiming, well, they got a demon on them. When the reality of the matter is, it's not about a demon. You're changing. You're changing and don't even recognize the metamorphosis. And that metamorphosis is good, that transition. But if you're not careful with wisdom, one can harm others during that change. And that's what happens. Even when Christ, even during the time of Christ, before Christ's ministry, when he had to fast that 40 days and 40 nights, when you fast a long time, folks, I'm going to tell you, all types of things be going through your mind and all that until clarity comes. And then there's a calm that connects you to the Most High. You don't want to be around people during that transition when your body is fighting for food and wants something, and now you're triggered and operating indifferent around people. Okay, that's why Christ was moved separate from people during that time. So when your metamorphosis or your change is happening, what we don't realize sometimes is how that change is affecting others. Okay, and when it comes to business or whatever the case is, you have to operate in wisdom. And I think that's one of the biggest issues. When he sat with Professor Griff, whatever the case is, yes, Professor Griff is going to be what he is. He's going to say what he's going to say. And, he's not going to bite his tongue. But that's why there's certain places Professor Griff can actually operate in and others he can't. And places he can't. See? So it was good for Professor Griff. But that brother was, when he was all gung-ho and I'm Semite, and we're going to show the video in a second. He should have sought counsel on how to operate, because you think other nationalities of people, Chinese people, Jewish people, you don't think that they have their stereotypes and how they feel negatively about others? Of course. There's racism amongst every race. But see, look how they operate amongst people. How they do business. Feeling the way they feel passionately about how they are, their pet peeves and who they don't like, but they know how to operate with wisdom amongst those they're using. Okay, so on the other hand, we have to understand that brothers have to operate with the wisdom of Christ. I send you out as sheep among wolves. Be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So if you know that they're not the people or whatever the case is, and you are the people, when you're in that type of position, you don't even got to say anything about them. You can say everything about us. And that's what I'm going to be going into, Elder Lawyer, this Friday. You don't even got to talk about them. That networking you're learning and all that, yeah, they taught you the ropes. They taught you the game. Now you got to be able to have the wisdom to use that for your people. See, Christ was around Pharisees, scribes, people who even hate his guts, but they couldn't contend with his wisdom. Sometimes he didn't answer them, not at all. Afraid for his life, afraid for what? His end goal. Understanding that if he spoke out of turn and did something out of turn, it would prohibit him what? Him finishing. He had a goal. Get that real quick. He had a goal. Okay? And he wasn't going to let a proud spirit get in the way of that. Now I'm going to go into this. Now I wanted to preface it this way because you understand it's a little, it's a little cringeworthy to a degree. It depends on how you're looking at it. Okay, and tell me what you think about it. All right. But I believe the brother should have gotten counsel. And a thing where he didn't have to do it where he could tell people who he counseling with. It could have been private. That's how they operate. I need that scriptures on counsel in Ecclesiasticus real quick. and a multitude of counselors their safety. He could call privately and say, and you know what? That's why even in the business world and out there in the industry and the stuff they're doing, that's why they have handlers. That's why they have PR people. Okay. I mean, how do you think, even though with R. Kelly and all his issues, why do you think he was able to operate so long in the business? Because you had others covering for him, spinning for him, making sure that his nakedness isn't shown to a degree that it would affect their business. See? So they'd be like, no, you can't do that. You got, no, you can't. No, this is how we're going to do this. How are we going to say this? Because it's your image. Your image affects what? Our bottom line. So all in all, if that brother was being advised, the first thing someone would have said was, listen, brother, if you are doing something for the work, you got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Whatever you're getting through them, you can funnel that to help your community. Use that position, but don't sin until that position runs out. Don't sin, and you can network with those who see what you see. Network and plan to help your people. Look at the inner cities. All the programs our children need, food, water, all these things. Christ says, if you fed the least of them, you fed me. If you've housed the least of them, you've housed me. So now you have to focus on, okay, you can't disturb the waters here. So no, you cannot sit down with Professor Griff. That wouldn't be wise. We can teach you to say what you need to say, but still be in a position to help your people. That's wisdom to a degree where you'll even convert, believe it or not, some of those people that are sinning in those circles, because Nick Cannon and others know that when the cameras come on, everyone is smiling. But in the entertainment business, it's a miserable life. The majority of those people are miserable and are looking for a way out. They're miserable. Christ sat amongst princes, those of high regard, and gave them light and understanding. Even Joseph of Arimathea. Okay, he had a lot of finances. So the whole deal is you have to have these people, they have money and all that, but they're miserable because what they had to sacrifice to get there. They're on psychotropics, on drugs. Why do you think the entertainment business, they're on drugs like so? Just to cope, to be in that business. You understand? These people are destitute, void of spirit, losing themselves to the degree where they have to pour it in alcohol and drown out their thoughts through drugs. So I'd have been like, nah, bro, nah, you can't sit with him. That ain't the way. You don't say nothing concerning what you're thinking and what you're learning. You study. You study Christ. You study how Christ moved. You wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You don't out there and say, well, this is what some person, who, the people who are not Jews. You don't got to focus on that. By saying you are Jews, that's evident who the Jews are. Teach your people by doing what? Upholding with your platform what? The laws, statutes, and commandments as an example of how to live right according to God's law with all these children looking at you. That's what I would have told the brother. Nah. Don't let someone use that ferocity and that metamorphosis for their own shine. Nah. You be wise, young man. Learn these scriptures and move clean, knowing that everyone is looking at you. And I'm going to go into it in a moment. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse number 14.
Come on.
Where no counsel is, the people fail.
Where no counsel is, the people fail.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
But in the multitude of counselors, it's safety. There's safety. When you're making moves like that, let me tell you, there's many people out there that know we're Hebrews and aren't saying anything. Okay. But they know how to move. They understand how to move. Right? I'll just put it that way. In the multitude of counselors, read,
there is safety.
there is safety. He was gung-ho. Wanted to share this with everyone. You know, understand, being young and fervent. Oh, we the Jews. Oh, my God. Hey, man, I'm going to tell everybody. Nah, I was like that at a young man first learning the truth. So I know what it is. I was sitting up there at the in a Christian church with my old pastor who did nothing wrong but love me all my life. And I'm sitting up in his Bible study with a full mitre on, ready to shake the whole house up. Man, y'all off. Yeah, y'all off up in here. I'm sitting there, a 20-something-year-old young man with a pastor who fed me when I wanted to sing, and his wife taught me on the piano what to do, how to sing when I wanted to sing. Mother Little. And she's sitting there looking at me. She says, I understand you going through something, Mother Little. You're going through something, but you know, we love you and Jesus still love you anyway. And she's looking at me, and I'm sitting there. I can't even come hard like I want to because these people genuinely loves me. And I'm sitting there as simple as a day's old with the truth, but wrong. But wrong. And later on, when Bishop was about to pass, I mean, it hurt me because I was outside the country. But before he passed, he was going to give me the building I grew up learning in on 9th and Collar Street. He was just going to give me the building. Right now, that's in the midst of Center City, worth millions of dollars. He's going to give it to me to teach what I was teaching. And now who has it? I had to go. I had to set up churches. The Chinese has it now. They were trying to press him for the building. And eventually, while I was gone, the Chinese got the building. Okay? I don't mean to go into my personal stories, but I know what it is and what spirit one can be in, that fiery spirit when you first get the truth, where what? Everyone is wrong. You're pointing out everybody that's wrong. I've gone through it, folks. And what do? Alienate the people who actually loved you. Alienate the people who love you. All right. So I want to talk about this real quick. All right. There's two things I want to go into. Look at your screen. You have something else, Lawyer?
Just a quick precept off of what you're just saying.
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 8:1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Exactly. Knowledge puffeth up. But what edifieth?
But charity edifieth.
Charity is love. That edifies. No one is trying to receive the truth of the Most High and this word from what appears to be a devil. So it's not about how much truth you have. One might have. So when you're dealing with that, you got the truth, you got to understand you must balance that with wisdom. You don't understand the power and the responsibility of that power that has been bestowed upon you knowing the truth. You have no idea. You're speaking to people who haven't learned anything in a bubble, in a vacuum. And it doesn't make you more proud or more better. It makes you chosen. And with being chosen comes a responsibility. You can't just get a sword because you learn how to swing a sword and go outside and just start cutting, just start swinging because to show people how well you wield a sword. No, it don't work that way. The Most High have given you the understanding to be a light. That's it. Not to show you know more than others or you're better than others. That's proud. And the Bible tell you about a proud man. And I'm glad you brought that, Elder Lawyer. Knowledge puffeth up. Knowledge puffeth up. And what happens is the people you used to be able to relate to no longer can relate to you because you have so much knowledge. They're in conversation with you, it embarrasses them. And who want to be around a person getting embarrassed? It embarrassed them because they know you have more knowledge than them, and it intimidates them, and it's now you can't even have a normal interaction with people anymore. I think I'm hitting home, man. So I wanted to set that table because no sooner something happens like what I'm about to show, our people begin to do what? With their lynch mobs and their sticks, they ready to go out and totally beat this man down because he made a decision to go through the ringer for whatever purpose, to sustain or to keep his livelihood. And I'm not coming down on this brother Nick Cannon for that. Why? Because he didn't use wisdom, and you know, he should have gotten counsel, and I understand where he is. So he sold out, he that. Nah, you know what? That was courageous, and he cannot take back what's out there. And the more they try to clean it up and take him to the ringer, the more attention the Most High is going to have on it. See, and I understand that even though people may look at this whatever way, the conversation by them trying to show, well, let's teach him a lesson. They doing this on purpose. And they may just discard him anyway after this. But anyway, they need to make an example for anyone else who may look to come this way. This is how they operate. Okay, this is how they operate. We have to make an example of him. But the whole deal is the Most High is still going to do what? He's going to show this for good. There's going to be many people who didn't even know who this young man was that's going to look into what he said. And they can't take that back. And the more they beat this man with this anti-Semitic stuff, the more they do it, I'm going to tell you, the more attention our people are going to give to it and realize it must be something to it if they have to go through all this stuff based on one, what he called mistake. Right? Why would you go through all this? Even y'all said it was only one mistake, but why you have to go through all this? Let me play what we're talking about. Listen, fair use, and keep in mind, fair use, and what I'm going to do for the sake, let me get the headphones, and for the sake of copyright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'll play the audio. I'll play the audio, but I'm going to keep this frame like it is, so you'll know. And this is how they humiliate people, folks. They purposely did what? They purposely had a Asian woman. They purposely had an Asian woman interview him. Why? Keep in mind, they can no longer use, brothers and sisters, they can no longer use their buffers like Gayle King and all that. Gayle King and them done struck out. After the R. Kelly and the Kobe Bryant thing, they cannot use, because they love to use, quote unquote, sisters, so that men, black men, are seen groveling under their authority. But really, these people there are being used by the synagogue of Satan, reading their talking points and all of that. So they purposely had an Asian interview him. She don't even have any skin in the game. What she care about whether or not someone believed we're Jews or not? Right? So, let's play it. And I'm going to tell you, all through this, they're looking to humiliate this brother. Let's listen.
We turn now to Nick.
Okay, good.
Cannon sitting down for his first TV interview since widespread condemnation over his anti-Semitic comments. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
You've made a very clear distinction between an apology versus atonement.
Atonement.
Are you seeking forgiveness?
I'm not seeking forgiveness. I'm seeking for growth.
Nick Cannon is not asking for forgiveness, but after what he said this past summer, many think he should. After years of building his brand, bigoted comments he made on one podcast threw his stardom and future into a tailspin.
These people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric.
The Cannon's Class episode featured Richard Griffin, a.k.a. Professor Griff, who had been kicked out of Public Enemy back in 1989 for anti-Semitic comments. He and Nick retread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and questioned the birthright of the Jewish people.
The Semitic people are black people.
You can't be anti-Semitic when the Semitic, when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be. That's our birthright.
That's our birthright.
The reaction was swift and widespread. Rabbi Abraham Cooper condemned the commentary, saying anyone seeking a PhD in Jew hatred should watch this interview. Explanations and subsequent apologies fell short. Nick lost his deal with Viacom CBS and stepped away from a daily radio show. An upcoming talk show was put on ice.
There are reports that you were pressured to apologize in order to keep your job. Any truth to that?
I can answer this wholeheartedly.
Okay, they started off with Asian, and then, yeah, there you go. Now they have him groveling to a sister now.
Pressured me. Ultimately, I've always said that apologies.
Now, who out there, brothers and sisters, who out there really believe that there's black people that are behind this piece you're seeing?
Are empty.
For Nick, his road back meant more than apologies. He sought atonement.
In Hebrew, they call it, teshuvah, the process of not only, repenting, but through that, if you're ever met with a similar situation, that you make a different decision. That goes beyond apologizing. And I'm on this journey of atonement because it's the right thing to do.
His journey began with the rabbis, welcoming them onto his podcast to learn from them. The first one to come on, the very rabbi who denounced him, Rabbi Cooper.
I didn't know you, but the world knows you.
Right.
When I watched the piece, and there was somebody there who was saying, "I'm not even a real Jew."
Right.
That goes right to the heart.
I hurt people. I'm gonna lean into it. I want to understand why I hurt you, what did I say? What are these tropes? Educate me.
Get the
Nick's
Josephus.
quest for education isn't new. Last year, he finished undergrad at Howard University, and he's now pursuing a master's degree in divinity.
Divinity and theology has been something that's been a part of my life. But I always tell people I sin way too much to be a preacher. So
One of those things that people paid attention to was you saying
Get the conversion
to
of
Professor
Hyrcanus.
Griff that black people can't be anti-Semitic because they are the Semitic people and black people are the true Hebrews.
the purpose first was to say we are all the same people. That's ultimately what I was saying. I was like, how can you hate when you believe that you come from the same people that are saying you're being hateful?
Is that your belief that it is the birthright of black people?
One thing that can't be debated is that we all originate from Africa.
During the podcast, you actually
Say, what are
went
these-
beyond the Jewish community and talked about non-melanated people.
Right.
Do you believe that non-melanated people are evil, savage, barbaric?
Absolutely not.
Whoa,
Nick
whoa,
is the
hold up,
latest in a line of recent
hold up there.
black celebrities
Hold
accused
up.
of making
There's
anti-Semitic
something
comments.
I need to point out
him,
here.
they're not rooted in prejudice.
There's something I need to point out. Obviously, he received some counsel before this one. But you notice his answer that he said, well, we all came from Africa, doesn't get any pushback from Jewish people. It's okay to say that y'all from us and we're from the same place due to bones of in Africa. But it's not okay to say that blacks through bloodline. She expressly asked him a question specifically. Do you believe that blacks are from the bloodline of the Jews? And he moved off of that into Africa. So that tells me that this Africa thing and us being from Africa wasn't an original talking point by black people. This education that they put out there, this history to divert us from Israel to Africa, was strategically put out there by them to distract us from the homeland. Let me finish hearing that. I wanted to highlight that.
Yes.
It's definitely ignorance. I don't believe it's hatred. I believe it's frustration.
The black and Jewish communities, it's a complicated history. You have
Okay, I'm not even going to get into with this young lady. Let me show you who's talking right. Then they follow him up with her. Are you kidding me? But you know, through this piece have allowed a segue for him to actually, you know, come back under the grace of the powers that be for work. They say, well, listen, because I'm going to tell you, when it comes to the business and him understanding how to navigate and produce shows, this brother at his age is second to none. Okay. This guy is smart when it comes to that industry and how to create, you know, buzz with shows and all that thing, you know, because he's sitting in rooms with white collar bigwigs who really don't know the streets like that. And this is why they always utilized or dependent. They were dependent on his expertise, knowing how our people, you know what I mean, what our people like to navigate around as far as media goes, what we like to gravitate towards. So they told him, do this piece, will allow you to get back in, right? But it's one thing I wanted to show real quick. One thing I wanted to show. And our lesson today, going back to here because there's something else I want to pull out here. One thing I wanted to actually pull out, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to do this next. One thing I wanted to pull out when they asked him, well, are those people, the Caucasians, are they Jews? Now, the proper way to answer that, honestly, is yes. They are Jews. But you have to understand when the terminology changed from Israelites to Jews. Okay? Now, why am I going here? They converted during the time of Hyrcanus. Okay? During the time, with the Hasmonean dynasty and all that thing that was going on there under the Maccabean brothers, eventually there was a segment of Idumeans who were white Europeans who converted into what they call now Judaism, where they were converted by black men, black people. See, that's history. So I would say, well, yeah, they're the Jews, but they're not from the bloodlines of Judah. There's a clear distinction. And I'm not going to deny that history. But there's a clear difference in one who would convert into a religion and the originator. There's a clear contrast or difference between one who would, convert to a religion or one who's from or the forerunners of that religion through what? Bloodline, genealogy. Because nowhere in the Bible does it says that a nation is determined or is identified through the mother. That doesn't exist. So I would take them into the history. I would say, well, listen, I don't disrespect one being a European or a white man who would label himself or his family through tradition would claim to be Jews. I don't deny that because they converted. And that's just a simple answer. Let's read it.
Antiquities of the Jews, Book 13, Chapter 9, paragraph number 1, verse number 257 and 258.
Read.
Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea, and subdued all the Idumeans and permitted them to stay in that country.
Idumeans are Edomites. They're white people. Okay, read.
It says, and permitted them to stay in that country if they would circumcise their genitals and make use of the laws of the Jews.
If they would make use of the laws of who? Those who were living in Judea. At this time, it was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Read.
And they were so desirous of living in the country of their forefathers that they submitted to the use of circumcision and the rest of the Jewish ways of living, at which time therefore this befell them, that they were hereafter no other than Jews.
They was what?
It says, at which time therefore this befell them, that
befell them, they were Edomites or Idumeans prior. And what?
That they were hereafter no other than Jews.
No other than Jews. See that? So it's clear that around that time of the Hasmonean dynasty that there was a conversion leading up to the time that Christ would be born in the earth. Once there was a transition of empires from the Grecians to the Romans. By the time the Romans got on the scene, you had what you would call the Herodian dynasty. That's right. Antipater, an Idumean, the great-grandfather of Herod the Greek, who became what? governor of Judea. By that time, you had white Jews in high political positions over the Sanhedrin by the time Christ was born. Most people like to focus strictly on the Khazarian conversion, which happened hundreds and hundreds of years later, when you need to really focus on the conversion before Christ. So the proper way the brother should have answered is like, well, yes, they're from a long line of Jews. They are Jews. From the Idumeans who converted under Hyrcanus. But that's through religion. They started practicing and converted for political reasons. In order for them to actually operate on our land, they had to follow the laws of our God. And that's where the term Jew comes from. We are not just Jew, Jew, which also denotes Judah, Benjamin, and Levi living in Judea. We are from Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is totally different than those who converted. We're through blood. They are in that position through conversion. When our people fell in 70 AD by the Romans, by default, the power structure only had Idumean converted Jews left in power after we fell. This is why they're in position today. That's history. That's not anti-Semitic. I'm reading history. And guess what? I can dialogue with any race of people, be it Jews or whatever the case. And guess what? Respect who they are, right? Listen to me clearly. Respect who they are in respect to what? How God made them. I'm going to interact with them as brothers, regardless of whether or not they converted as Jews or if they're from the bloodline of Jews. I can conversate with them both. Okay, but if we're on a dialogue together, truth will prevail. And I can say that without, without disparaging someone's character or whatever the case might be. The reality is, you're living in the awakening. We know, we have the history now, and that's not being bigot. That's not being against no one. And that's the whole point. The brothers should have used the wisdom to say, well, this is the history. The same relationships that our people had during their conversions, we had business and relationships together. Here's history where we converted their people and we were amicably operating as a people together, even though we're the people. So my people did business with them when we were in power, and they're doing business with us. Right? They're doing business with us now that they're in power. But there's a mutual respect. We don't practice Judaism because that was a form of Babylonian practices that came with Babylon during a conversion. We deal with the law, statutes, and commandments according to the word, the Torah, the Tanakh. You can make a distinction and say, well, there was always white Jews after the conversion. It doesn't disparage their position because why? God gave them this position. When we fell, the white man was put in position. Okay? But we're going to set the record straight. When it comes to bloodline, we are prophetically the people of the book. See? And that's how you answer them. Prophetically. Prophetically. That's all. What you have as a lawyer? Okay.
We have lined up.
Now, speaking of truth, one other thing I wanted to highlight before I open up the calls. All right. Speaking of truth, do y'all remember this, brother? CNN World, the Tanzanian president who came against the world powers and CDC during the whole Colt 45 COVID-19 scare of 2020, who stood up and was making fun of it and telling people like, listen, this is, that they're looking to, harm our people, and stood against it. Well, guess what? He stood for the truth and came up missing. More of what happens when you get the truth and when you go out there with the understanding, right? Keep in mind, folks, you have to be hedged by the Almighty when you're putting certain information out there. Segueing from one powerful young brother, Nick Cannon, to a president of a whole country. Tanzania's president, Magufuli, dies after weeks unseen. The one that stood up against and was trying to stop them from pushing the virus on Tanzania. How do a whole president go missing or unseen? A whole president. Have you seen the president? No, I ain't seen him. How do a whole president go missing? Tanzania's president, John Magufuli, has died at a hospital in Dar es Salaam. The country's vice president announced in a televised address. Guess who announced it? The vice president. So anybody want to ask him, how did the president go missing? The country's vice president announced in a televised address Wednesday. He was 61. And they say he died of a heart ailment. And they purposely titled it this way too, to send a message. What you've seen with Nick Cannon was a message, and this was sending a message to the world too. Like, listen, whatever agreements that were made to put you in power still stands. Or there's another guy that will jockey, that will, that's chopping at the bit to replace you. There's only one safe place, and that's Christ.
That's right.
The enemy will never play fair. I want to put that out there. Now, going into what I want to talk about tonight, we have some news pieces I had to go through because usually I do that on Wednesday, and I go full board into the teaching and precepts on the weekends. But I like to use current events, showing you what's going on and how to actually look at the news and see it with a broader perspective, understanding how all of it affects us in the awakening. Okay? One moment here. Let me grab this. How many people we have here? Okay, y'all doing a great job. There's almost 3,000 in. All praises. Thank you. All right. Let's go in. Let's go in, Elder Lawyer. All right. Chosen for the truth, but who will endure? Brothers and sisters, we claim that we're the Israelites. We're the Jews. You have Nick Cannon who says, okay, we're the real Jews. Okay. What does that mean to be chosen? What responsibility comes with it? What responsibility comes with us saying, or do we say it just to feel good about ourselves? Right? Mm-hmm. And that's okay. It's good to feel good, to know who you are after years being told we were black, Negro, African, and everything else. Not to cast any dispersions on Africans, okay? They're my brothers. But you can't name us after a continent, okay? We are a people. And Africa doesn't define us. So we have to understand what that means to be chosen, especially going into the Passover, because with chosen comes a responsibility. When we take on that responsibility and do it right, that comes with protection by the Almighty to help us navigate through tribulation while helping others. Okay? Now, what does it mean? Elder Lawyer, let's go to Deuteronomy 14. What does it mean? And what does it mean that you are chosen for the truth? Now that you know you're an Israelite and you were chosen. Oh yeah, I'm an Israelite. Oh yeah, we the real this and we the real that. How are we putting that into action? See, what does it mean? Let's read according to the Bible.
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2.
Read it.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people to himself above all nations that are upon the earth.
He says, I've chosen you to be a peculiar people out of all the people on the earth. The Most High hallowed these specific people for himself. They're different. They're different. When you look at the peculiar, it says what? To shut up wealth. Closely shut up. Jewel, peculiar, a treasure. So the Most High says that his people are what? A treasure to behold. We're his treasure. Now, when you look at that shut up, hallowed, that in of itself is saying that there's supposed to be some interworkings being hallowed from all people amongst ourselves and with our God. We're hallowed, which means there's a barrier between them and us that the Most High placed there. Jewel, treasure. So that if that barrier is taken away, the other nations become filthy rich, spoiling us. Filthy rich. We're the treasure of the earth. That's what our God said about us. And even Christ came back on top of it and confirmed it by saying, yeah, you are the salt of the earth. Y'all the flavor. But what good is it if you have lost that flavor? Salt is no good if it doesn't have what you actually use it for. Flavor. See? So peculiar, a jewel, a treasure. So, folks, according to the Bible, that's regal, which comes with a lot of responsibility. But the question is, and I wanted to put it out there, do we just want the title, but don't want to do the work to live up to to measure up with how the Most High actually sees us? Think about that. I'm putting these questions out there so that y'all can answer this, because a lot of people never ask personally, what is my obligation for my nation? Now I know I'm an Israelite. Now that I know I'm chosen, what is that? Well, number one, you are a Jew. We were to interact with each other and to support each other internally first, outside of every other nation. This whole earth would collapse. Their whole economy would just flatline. And they know it. And they know it. See? Let's finish reading. Come on.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth.
You're different than any other race of people. You always knew you were different, but you didn't know why. We just didn't know why. That's because we are the children of Israel. And I don't have to put someone else down to take ownership of that. I don't even got to speak about what the other people are and what they're talking about. We can take ownership. We can take ownership without even giving them any shine. It's time for us to just take it on, and regardless of what other people think, and stand in what the Most High made us. Because me saying I'm an Israelite isn't bigoted or hatred towards another race of people. That's who I am. See, that's who you are. And it comes with a responsibility. And if we take up this responsibility, keep in mind the reward that comes with it. Think about this, folks. You take up the responsibility of Israelites, keeping the laws, staying clean, not harming our people, following the 10 Commandments. What happens? Can you imagine the crime rate and how that crime rate will go down? Who loses if we follow the law? If we were to interact with each other according to this code, a peculiar people, who loses? The enemy, who have created a world to benefit off of our chaos. The for-profit prisons and all that. Don't you know? Just the judicial system is a business in of itself because we are lawless. There'll be no family court. There'll be no judges saying being tough on crime and packing people in jails. It'll be over. No prison industrial complex. It'll be over. See? Why are we dropping this on you? Because you have to understand not just how we see ourselves. We always understood something was special about us. But it takes it up a notch when we start realizing how God sees us. In spite of the flaws. We're all flawed. But there's something great in us. There's something great in us that we have to tap into. And the enemy is in a race to stop us from tapping fully into owning up to what's in us. It's a race for time. No, go ahead, get that shot. Get that. I'm going to tell you, folks, they know we're close. They know you're close. Hence the reason why some of the articles I've shown you today of what's going on with Nick Cannon and how they want to show him in a compromised position. Why do you think all that? You think who would spend so much time on one black boy? Folks, listen to what we're showing you here, what it means to be peculiar. Hold that, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
You holding something in Peter? Yeah, we're going to get that. But I need you to also get Deuteronomy 7 and 6 and Deuteronomy 10 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse number 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
We are an holy people unto him. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto himself. Think about that. You got the Asian people worshiping the dragon and Buddha and everyone else. Idolaters. You got the other nations worshiping other gods, lesser gods. Like you're going to see the whole world open up just so that they'll allow people to celebrate the goddess Esther, Easter, the goddess Astareth, the god that was supposed to come down the goddess who came down in a stone to be worshiped, not only just on the Christian side, but on the Muslim side. The Kaaba stone is the worship of the Queen Mother of Heaven, that they call the Queen Mother of Heaven, Ashtoreth. Our people don't associate ourselves with that. Our God is the God who made the fallen ones. Those who revolted, guess what? Our God made them too. He hallowed us to be separate from the Gentiles who worship idols, who worship lesser gods, who are heathens and unclean. So we should understand there's a responsibility for our people to begin to teach our children cleanliness in every sense of the word. To be a jewel of the Most High comes a responsibility. Okay, it comes, you don't put no junk up in your veins and up in your nose and all and drugs and nah, you're clean. You're contrary to the rest. You don't just put anything in your body because we only get one temple. See? And that's why the Christians and others, the pagan Christians who taught us this lie Christianity today, do not want us to read the Old Testament. There's a lot of good stuff in there concerning what? Our culture, our cleanliness, to have the knowledge of when we're unclean, to fix it, to be conscious of what? Our cleanliness, how God sees us. See, regal will be our talking point. We're going to stand on this this religiosity, this regal spirit this coming weekend. Not talking about what we're doing wrong and what's bad about us and all. No, I want to focus on this Passover, what God sees in us. Brothers and sisters need to be encouraged that if God didn't see nothing in us, we would have been destroyed already after sinning for generations against him. But he sees something in us, and he's waiting for you to see what's in you. So stop making excuses for why we can't hit that bar and putting things off. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll do. No, we know what we're responsible for. Now being an Israelite. Now it's time to do what? Set goals and achieve those goals, heavenly goals, according to the Almighty. No more excuses. Standing in what it means to be chosen. See? Come on.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse number 15. Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them.
And he chose, it wasn't just our fathers, folks. When you read the Bible, brothers and sisters, the North American Indians, the Baliqua Taínos, the indigenous people of the world, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Jamaicans, the West Indians, the Haitians. When you read the Bible, you are reading the history of your forefathers. That's what you're doing. And understand what? With that bloodline comes the responsibility. What is it? Read.
Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them.
He chose a seed after them. Read.
Even you.
Even who?
Even you.
Even who?
Even you.
Even you.
Above all people.
Above every race of people.
As it is this day.
As it is this day. See, and this is why the nations relish seeing us in a subservient posture. Because why? We lost our history. They didn't lose our history. They find extra passion, extra pleasure with having us grovel, by having us subservient, by having us do what? Serve them, knowing that we are the chosen people. I go into an Asian store and I be checking things out. Sometimes I go there get me a brush when I'm in North Philly or whatever the case is. And you know what I check out? I check out how there's a brother and sister in there who've been working there for years who's really running the whole thing. They're stocking the shelves. When the store closed, I'm sure they're asking, well, what are they saying out there? What type of stuff do the women like? Do they like the straight stuff? What do they like? And they get all the tips from a sister or brother on what to sell to our communities. Tell me I'm lying. Okay. I know. Growing up North Philadelphia, there was a hair store, one of the very few that was at the corner, and it's still there, at the corner of Broad and Susquehanna on the right side across from the Bear store. And I remember the family because I went to the school with the daughter who was what? The daughter was part Korean and her father was a veteran, a black guy. And they opened up a hair shop on Broad and Susque, North Philadelphia. And I used to see some of the conversations and what goes on and how they try to find out what was the trend in the streets to do what? To keep that store going. But now that brother's not there. And I'm talking about even in the corporate world. I'm going to tell you folks, who's the buffer? The white guy is the white collar guy. Yeah, he's the guy really running things. But those white liberal women under him are sitting there getting all the goods on how to run a floor by what? Talking to sisters. All that. Knowing what's going on, what the conversations are, who, what. It's the sisters running the corporate world. They will never make it to the level beyond, the status that they were given. A lot of them are rewarded. But it frustrates them because they know they'll never get to where that white liberal woman is. As soon as you get to the point where she feel you're threatening her, you're out of there. I've been there. What? But the Most High sees something in you. They have always seen it in you and used it. What we're saying is, and what we're bringing out, and what the Most High expects is you to look into yourself on how to use your gifts for your people, for your children. Aren't we tired of building the legacies of others? So we don't got to disparage or talk about the other people and what they're doing and who they are. They're going to be who they are. But as a nation, as God people, we have the full responsibility on us where our gifts are channeled and for who they're channeled for. Listen, and this is what God was telling us the whole time. This is what he was telling us the whole time. Finish reading that real quick, that last piece.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15.
Yeah.
Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them.
Come on.
Even you above all people as it is this day.
Even as it is this day above all people. I'm going to show you how much they feel about us, in this workplace after us working our fingers to the bone to build this place. Look how many brothers and sisters were let go from the corporate structure, from jobs altogether under the Roni virus. Without any legal recourse. You don't even have a legal recourse because under the Emergency Act, they can just let you go without promising you anything going forward after giving your life for them. And you know what? And the Most High wants it this way. He's showing you how the other nations, if you can break your back, you can do whatever you want. You can even be a taskmaster over your own people and they still throw you to the dogs. And the Most High want to show you, nah, that's the lesson. Our God will always embrace us, put us back on our feet, and do what? Give us another opportunity to persevere, because that's who we are. That's what we've done since slavery. And he was always there. He says, listen, you see what they do. You can build their country, you can do everything else, and they'll still throw you to the dogs and say, get a stimulus check. And the Most High is now pivoting. He wants us to pivot and say, listen, trust him. It's in us. It's in us if we are willing to trust each other and network with each other and begin to love each other like God in Christ has always loved us. It's in us to persevere and to make it through this. That's what it means to be a chosen people. Am I my brother's keeper? See, they had to get rid of Christ, folks. Christ had the keys. He had the keys. I'm telling you, he was straight up. He's like, I'm going to give you the wisdom to navigate through this world and understand your worth. Who to sacrifice for and who not to sacrifice for. Okay? If you sacrifice for your nation, Christ was by Christ sacrificing for his nation, what happened? His blood covered the sin of the world with him being a light to the Gentiles. We're working backward. A chosen people is a jewel. What are we doing with that treasure, that jewel? Is we allowing the Gentiles to ravish us, to spoil us? Or are we using that great gift, that jewel that will dissipate with time for the other nations, for other people who don't even care about us? See, and that's the real message. Finish reading, Elder Lawyer.
Verse 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart,
your mind,
and be no more stiff-necked.
And be no more stiff-necked. Stop being hard-headed. That's what God is saying. We need to start with just personal goals that you know personally you've been putting off for yourself. You're a jewel of the Most High, and you know, well, okay, I've been slacking on these areas when it comes to myself. And I know that I can be a better person for the Most High if these things are fixed. It doesn't matter what that is. Make those personal goals with yourself first in the Most High, and that will extend. That spirit will spread. It will extend to our family, those around us. By sticking to a goal and accomplishing that, and it doesn't have to be big, but by accomplishing a goal, that's the first sign of what you would call, or what defines, success. Doesn't have to be whatever everyone else sees, because now you've actually put something out there with the Most High and achieved it, no matter how small. And you're going to find yourself moving in the right direction as a light, as a better person for the Almighty, for your nation. Okay, let's get this real quick, Elder Lawyer. Let's get 1 Peter 2 and 5 to show you that the New Testament confirms what's written in the Old. 1 Timothy 2 and 8. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. 1 Timothy chapter 2, I'll start at verse 5.
Okay.
Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yeshua the Anointed.
Come on.
Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. Unto you therefore which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. Verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation.
But ye are a chosen generation. They're not telling you. How can they teach you the New Testament and don't go back to the Old Testament where the Most High says he have chosen us to be a special people? The New Testament confirms it. Read it again.
But ye are a chosen generation.
A chosen folks. They fear what's going on with this generation here. You can no longer lie to this generation. It's to a point where now they have fact checks now. Like, well, no, we can't deny the truth anymore. So we just got to just say everything you saying is a lie. Listen, you don't have to fact check facts, folks. That lets you know that they're panicking and paranoid. And no, you got to move that through the fact checker. Okay, so who orchestrated or who have put together the fact checking machine? God? Oh no, the devil put together the fact checking machine. Okay, all right. You know they're panicking when they got a fact checker out there. That if you're not on the line with mainstream propaganda, there's a need to have your facts checked. They're panicking because you can no longer lie to this generation. Okay, you can no longer lie to them. And now it's saying we are what? Read it.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood.
A royal priesthood. Read.
In holy nation.
A holy nation.
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people. Read.
That ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
So we must show the praises of him that have called us out of our, dark religions. The lie we call education. That comes with the responsibility. See? Read that last piece again.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
So our responsibility is to show the praises for Christ. That's a responsibility to him and to others for your awakening. You must represent now. That's right. You must represent our King who has awakened us. Are you seeing it? Not running around with an attitude, mad all the time and frustrated and all. No, that's of the devil. Not contentious. Walking in appreciation for, you know what? I was blind. And the Most High have given me eyes to see. Blessed are your eyes that they see, and your ears that they hear. Okay? There's no room to be frustrated, mad, contentious, always fighting. Even amongst the Gentiles. I don't got to sit there and argue. I went through those phases, arguing with somebody. Oh yeah, I'm not a Jew. You a Jew. You a Jew. Listen, I can show forth who I am by representing the God who made me and the King who has awakened me. I don't have to prove it. Neither should you. If we walked in the commandments, love one another, our works would show forth that we're the children of light. And it's in us to do it. See? Finish reading.
Verse 10, which in time past were not a people, but now are the people of God.
In time past, we were not a people. We were calling ourselves Hispanic. We was calling ourselves Latinos, Negroes, and well, these are the labels they put on us. We were re-educated in slavery. And the Most High said, what? Nah. And the same land where it was said that ye are not my people, in that self same land it shall be told to them that ye are the sons of the living God. History says so. Prophecy says so. So we're beyond the phase of convincing people who we are at this point. That was a phase. Now we are the people, and we're going to stand as the people and show forth to the world that we are the people. So this is me segueing right into where we're going at this Passover. What we're going to be talking about, not the negative, because too many people harp on the negative. And we can find ourselves in a dark place, always pointing out what's wrong. I want to talk about this Sabbath, this Passover, what the Most High have always seen in us. Why through the vaccines, the eugenics, us hanging from trees, us in the belly of ships, the Puerto Ricans being killed down to 500,000 man-child, the Indians being slaughtered, through all we've been through, the Most High have preserved his seed alive. What did he see in us that we refuse to see in ourselves? It must have been something. And that's what I want to talk about this weekend, man. It's like we know it's true. It's like we're scared to own it. We are afraid to step into it for some reason. But now the Most High is going to make it where there's really no choice. So I want to highlight and go into that this weekend. What is it that the Most High have always seen, even through our sin, even in our darkest moments? The Most High sees something in you, in us. What is that? Because the only thing we have to do is hone in on that and do what? Nurture and mature that thing, whatever that thing is. We have to say, okay, there it is, and stay in that, and nurture that, and grow that. Finish reading of the lawyer.
Verse 10, which in time past were not a people, but now are the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
We have obtained mercy. Any other nation that would have gone through what we've gone through and had all these other nations come through, take turns and destroy, these nations would have been totally decimated and extinct by now if this was any other race of people. We persevered and smiled through it all and never gave up belief in our God. Check that out. That's something. That's something, folks. Anything else you have, Brother Lawyer?
No, sir. In fact, verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. That's pretty.
We have to abstain from fleshly lust that war with what?
Against the soul.
Against the soul. Keeping our conscience clean. Keeping our conscience clear with no darkness. Let's read 2 Peter 3 and 12. One reason why some people know it's true but don't want to own it. Possibly. Let's read it.
Second Timothy chapter 3, verse number 12. It says, yea, and all that will live godly in Yeshua the Anointed,
all that will live godly in Christ,
shall suffer persecution.
Maybe that's why. That's one of the reasons why we don't own it all the way. Because when you weigh stepping all the way in to what this is and what, you know, the transformation, whatever that is, that we have to take towards becoming, you know, like Christ, we're weighing what we might lose. What will you lose? What are you holding on to? Right? When you weigh it, you be like, well, hold up. With this comes persecution, being ridiculed. Folks, after going through these years in captivity, we should be numb to someone shaming us or making us feel a certain type of way. I'm going to tell you that right now. We should be numb to it. Like, nah, I'm going to stand like flint. Hard as flint for Christ. That's it. I know I'm going to suffer persecution. I know people are going to come against me. But you know what? It comes with the territory. If they hated Christ, they're going to hate me. And guess what? They'll hate me, and I'm going to love them in return. So maybe what it is what? Some of us know or consciously have thought about stepping all the way in and doing what we need to do, but we fear the persecution that comes with it. We fear the persecution. Read it.
Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ shall suffer persecution.
Shall suffer persecution. Come on.
13, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
But evil what?
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse.
Evil men and seducers shall wax worse.
And worse.
And worse.
Deceiving and being deceived.
Deceiving and being deceived. You can get with this, Christ's kingdom, or you can get with that. See? So it's time, brothers and sisters, that we own being the chosen. And this goes back to, and I want to say, you know what? And I'm going to say this outright, regardless of what people might say about what Nick Cannon did, what he's doing now, and what he did in his fervent spirit without too much, without counsel initially. If the brother ever ran into this, he would hear me say, regardless of what he did and what the outcome is, brother, thank you. Regardless of whether or not he got counsel and all that. You know why? Because he said something knowing he had everything to lose. Even in his fervent spirit, to actually go out and say what he said without wise counsel, he had the courage to do it. And I know in his mind, because when you standing with the Most High and you're in that spirit where you're not even thinking, you don't care if you lose anything. You don't care. Okay? But he should have used wisdom. But all in all, He put himself out there. So regardless of the mistake or whatever the case is, and how he didn't probably, when he looked back at it, he look at it and say, well, regardless of what anyone else is thinking, I know he reflect back at it and say, I could have navigated that more wisely, but he was up in it. And I know what that is. I know what that is. So I'm still going to say, regardless of people talking about him and saying things about him, he was willing to do what most won't. Put it out there with everything to lose and suffer the persecution. Directly, folks, his persecution was directly from the synagogues. And he knew, right, when he said that, at that time, he knew what he was putting on the line. And that, he can't take that back. Which means no matter what happened with the brother, I hope the brother stays safe. I pray that the Most High hedge him and protect him, and that they're not tricking him into something, whatever the case might be. I'm going to tell you, folks, I pray for that brother, because even if he's gone and whatever happens down the line, that's out there now. And all the people that been looking at wilding out and this, that, and the other, they seen what? They seen a chapter turned, a transition. Okay? With a man standing up and saying, you know what? We're the Israelites. We are the people. And too many times I see this as with our people, every opportunity to come down or to bury a brother or sister, it's us first leading the charge. And I'm not going there. Okay? The brother is growing just like every other person who've made mistakes, but just don't have the spotlight on them like he does. Okay?
I think that's the reality. He's operating at a totally different level, outside of what many of us can even imagine. The contracts and all the things and all the pressures that come with the world that he's in. And you can only put yourself in his shoes, even operating on a day-to-day 9-to-5 level. Many of our people know that, listen, I have to walk circumspectly when you go in, or you have to walk circumspectly when you go into your 9-to-5. You know that there's certain things you can't say, or you risk losing what it is you have to take care of your responsibilities, your family, your house, and all the things you think about before making a decision. We deal with that just on a regular lower level. Yeah. So you can only imagine on the level that he's dealing, the fact that you have to be circumspect, and that's just the reality. So it's, it would almost be hypocritical to throw a stone, understanding that many of us wouldn't take those chances. Yeah. And when I say many of us, of course we come out and we speak, but again, we're not at that pinnacle in the world where the whole world is watching at that degree. Yeah. But I'm just saying that everyday brother or sister, you know that even you can't just walk into your job and go to your boss and say certain things on the job without dealing with some level of consequence. So that's just the reality.
Hey, well, I used to wonder as a lawyer, and this is, maybe I'm digressing somewhere because I'm about to open up the calls. I used to wonder, even like, I managed in 2 separate companies years ago. You heard the stories over and over again.
Yes, sir.
And I used to say this all the time initially when I was working in the companies, right? And, and then I just stopped saying it because it's almost a law in the corporate world where you would say, listen, there's 2 things you don't talk about around here. We have to get business done. And we used to say, the corporate guys would say to us, the white collar, and we would come down and say, listen, because the biggest disputes would happen on the job where things aren't getting done because there's 2 things you don't talk about around here. You don't discuss what? You don't discuss politics, and you don't discuss religion. And then in hindsight, I looked at it and said, you know what? These are the two things we should be talking about. But why do you think they didn't want that in the corporate world? They don't want us talk. And then I come to find out they don't want us talking about us and how this world, how the deck is stacked against us politically. And they don't want us talking about religiously that we are, after being suffered persecution for years, that there's a similarity between us and the Israelites who suffered persecution in that religious book called the Bible. Now, in hindsight, but now I understand why they put those two, I would say, standards or barriers almost as laws in the corporate world. I think the whole time they were thinking about us. Two things you don't talk about around here. You don't talk about politics, because politically we've been hung, stoned, you name it. Black finger pointing down the street. Politically, we've been ostracized, for generations within this country. So we don't talk about that stuff. And you don't talk about what? Religion, and you don't talk politics. So I'm just dovetailing. I'm just backing you up on what you were saying about even us at the job. We know what lines not to cross, but we won't apply. We won't give grace to that brother.
Exactly.
And every day we're walking the line, knowing the truth, using wisdom, using a little bit more tact, with way less to lose compared to him. But that's subjective. It depends on the lifestyle you're living. It doesn't matter how much you're making with what he's spending. It doesn't matter. The majority of people in this earth is usually about 2 months. 2 months from not actually getting any money from going bankrupt or homeless.
Higher the pay grade, the higher the expenses.
Yeah.
And I think also, some people may say, well, he's a multi-millionaire. He's his own boss. Well, I guess based on this, he learned that maybe he's not his own boss.
Yeah.
He's learning right now. Now I think maybe he was boldly making those statements, feeling like, I'm a boss. I've achieved a lot in this business, and now I'm free to say and do what it is a boss can say and do. But he's finding out that, listen, you're not your own boss at this point.
Exactly. He's on their machine.
Yeah.
And in that world, I mean, look at him. The brother was married to Mariah Carey, and Mariah Carey, right?
Yeah.
And you know who she was married to? One of the, I can't even say his name. Oh my, she had children by. Oh man, you talking about wizards? That's all I'm gonna put out there. And just to circle what he witnessed growing up in that world, Viacom, whatever. Viacom is the horns. So it's like, man. And they probably pulled him to the side and say, listen, man, listen. Remember that video? You was in that video with R. Kelly. Y'all did something together. You was in the video. And this guy, he's locked down somewhere, and he didn't even go to court. And he's still locked down. He let him know. They probably put him in a room and put the video on. Him and R. Kelly, making it happen. Like, see? So let's do this interview. Let's straighten this out.
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's how it works. Right? But I'm going to say, but I believe the brother is going to, he's going to use wisdom going forward. And hopefully, he operate with tact to help his people. If you know you the Jews, you know we the Israelites, you know we suffering in these ghettos. You know these people that are suffering aren't Hamites. You know they're Israelites, right? So what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it now? What are we gonna do to help our people? All right, let's go. Let's open up the lines. We can take calls for about 30 minutes, and then we'll wish you all Godspeed. Elder Lawyer, you can pass me the headphones so I can hear the brothers and sisters. Hold tight. All right. One sec, folks.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, we're live on Blog Talk, 515-605-9327. Okay. Be sure to hit 1 if you have a question or comment. All right. Our topic for this evening, you can speak on it. Chosen for the truth, but who will endure? What does that mean for you when it says chosen for the truth? 757 area code 757. Make sure we're not playing in the background. And after that, 760.
Shalom, Elder Bakar. Shalom, Elder Lawyer. Shalom, everyone listening.
Shalom. Your name and location?
This is Brother Haran. I'm calling from the Virginia body.
Okay.
I was calling to Shalom, brother. This is a very profound topic for me, especially very special. I was calling to share some joyous news with the body. This is my 4th year as of January, and as of March 14th on Sunday, I was baptized in the name of Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya Warawak, my wife and I. It's been such a blessed occasion, a true transformation for me, and I'm so grateful to be a part of God's chosen to make my way into the kingdom. And I just wanted to share that with this topic that we're on. And thank you to Deacon Solomon, Deacon Donald, and the rest of the deacons of the Virginia body. I'm so grateful just to be in this moment. This transformation has been incredible. These past couple of days has been incredible. My skin feels different. My hair feels different. My thoughts are different. It's just, I don't even feel that old man anymore. I don't feel anything that I was anymore. I just feel a complete transformation. And Yada Ahaya, and I thank you, Elder Ricard, I stuck close to you for years and years, and I brought my mother, my father into the truth, my daughter. She was consecrated in the name of Yeshua this weekend, and it was just a blessed occasion, brother, and I thank you. And I love you, brothers, man. I love the body, and I love Christ. And shalom, brother.
Shalom, brother. Man, that's pretty incredible. That's incredible. All right, one moment here. Let me do this. 1 second. Place you on hold. Let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, I think this is a little better. Yeah, this sounds a little better. I should have been. All right. Can you hear a little bit? All right. This is okay. This is good. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's better. That's better. Okay. Yours good?
You turn it down.
Which one?
Whichever one. Yep.
That's it?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Great. All right. Let's go down the line. Okay. 760 area code.
Hey, shalom, elders.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, I had a fun fact and I had a question. The fun fact is that you guys know the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, is an Israelite. That was my fun fact. Okay. And the question is,
okay, so okay, okay, you can't leave it there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what proof you have of that? What are you saying?
I looked him up. I Googled him, man. I was wondering what race he was, you know what I'm saying? And it said Cuban. I was like, wow, okay.
Okay. Oh, okay, well, there's some, there's...
I thought he...
but it's fine. He may be an Israelite, but there's white Cubans, right?
No, I didn't know that, Elton. I didn't even know that. I didn't.
Okay, well, it's fine. Hopefully, I hope he's baptized, and hope he hope he do what's right. Well, go on. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, I was watching one of the old videos about Barack Obama that you made, and I was wondering, is he going to go broke? It was something that you guys were saying that said that the ships of the kingdom are coming for Barack Obama. Who are the ships of the kingdom? Oh, no, that was a question I was asked. No, well, I'll just give you the scripture. It was Daniel 11:30. Okay, I guess it's like after all the war is over. Yes, like, why is Barack Obama going to go broke after the war is over?
Barack Obama going to go broke after the war is over?
Yeah, after the, I think it's like, okay, let me see. It said, this is the scripture y'all said after. It said
go ahead, read the scripture.
Appointed. Okay, the time appointed he shall return and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter, for the ships of kingdom shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do, even returning have intelligence with them there. They forsake the holy covenant in his arms. Does this sound familiar? I kind of wrote it wrong a little bit. But
yeah, brother, no. That don't got nothing to do with him going broke. Okay.
Okay.
You done missed some lessons.
Yeah, I probably.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
All right.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Shalom.
All right. Down the line, you hit 1. Let's see. 512 area code.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom. Thank you for thank you for the milk.
Oh, you're welcome. Did you have any yet?
I have it in the refrigerator. Hey, Yurok. Where other Yurok at? Tell him to go give me some. Yeah. Hey, Yurok, in that refrigerator out there, the other refrigerator out there, grab that raw milk for me in a glass. I said I was gonna do it live on. I'm gonna do it live. Right here.
Ask him to shake it first.
No, I'm gonna shake it in front. I'm gonna shake it right here on the camera for you. Right here. I'm gonna shake the milk up because I know it settles a little bit. You know, it's gonna be good. So.
I hope it's so sweet.
Sister, I really appreciate it. I mean, this is going to be the first time in probably about 20, 30 years that I've actually drank real milk. Okay.
Wow.
So
I hope it's sweet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, you rock. You ain't milking cows. Yeah, I need that thing. Yeah. I'm trying to show the brothers and sisters we're anticipating it, but Elder, you ain't get lost on me, did you? Oh, I hear footsteps. I know the one outside. I gotta send a lawyer. You don't get lost. Lord have mercy. The one, yeah.
He might be on his way to Texas.
He's rummaging through the house. Come on. Got milk? Oh, no, I told him to bring me the whole thing. He's messing around with it. You know what I noticed, sister? Is that it has more body than regular milk. It kind of looks like carnation milk. Okay. Miller's Bio Farm. You shook it up, man. All right. Shake it like that.
Oh, I hope it's
all right. We have raw cow's milk. Keep refrigerated. I'm gonna put some of this on oats tomorrow. I ain't gonna mess around with it. It looks like it's thick like it look like eggnog almost, right?
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be thick. Yeah.
Man, this, you know what, sister, this tastes more like the milk that we used to drink growing up. You know, like back in the day when there were black and white TVs, right? Y'all remember that? I mean, unfortunately, we was poor. We were still looking at black and white, even when the good times was on. My father, listen, you don't got to worry about color. Just think about color, right? He says, listen, you know what color things is. Look around. But I remember back then we had black and white TVs, right? And back then, sister, they used to bring the milk in glass bottles. You can get those delivered certain times. They would come with the glass bottles. Oh yeah. I mean, it's hearty. It's like maybe you can make gallons and gallons of the pasteurized milk out of this one glass. I mean, you can make a gallon out of this. It's so thick. It's thick like eggnog. It's like I have to describe it because, you know, it's delicious, sister. It's good. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. So you have butter, and you have two raw cheeses as well, and raw butter.
Yeah.
So you have more to try.
Oh yeah. Believe it or not, I'm gonna put some of that. I'm gonna work it out with that, because that raw cheese, you know, I'm gonna scramble that up, and I'm gonna have some beef bacon on the side. My mother gave me some beef bacon. You could pour it back in there. So we're gonna have breakfast on. We have breakfast thanks to you, sister. So
just whatever you do, just don't heat the cheese, the butter, or the milk. Whatever you do, just don't heat it up.
don't heat it. We talking about whipping that thing up with some eggs. Oh yeah.
No, you don't want to heat it. No, raw dairy is that's what makes it so nutritious, is it's raw, it's living food. Once you heat it, then it becomes no good, it becomes unhealthy. That's the whole thing with the milk and the cheese and the butter, why it's so unhealthy, because it's heated. So when we eat it raw, we just leave it out to come to room temperature. If you don't want it so cold, you eat it raw, that's when it's healthy. As soon as you add heat to it, it becomes unhealthy and it's no good for your heart and things. So, yeah, definitely have it on the side.
Well, yeah, okay, just put a toothpick in it. It's all good. All right, thank you, sister. I'm gonna place you on. I'm gonna place you on the hold. All right, bless you. Hey, that's what it's talking about, being a holy nation, right? Hey. As we talking about chosen for the truth. Hey, you get cheese and raw milk. Hey, we getting ready for the wilderness, right? But you can't scramble those eggs with the cheese. I don't know. We have to rethink that. All right, 214 area code 214.
Hello, Shalom.
Shalom.
I love listening. I love listening to you, elders. I don't miss an episode.
Hold up, sister. I'm going to let you stay on. But let me tell y'all something, brothers and sisters. When I found out about beef bacon, I don't know why people could have eaten pork bacon. I went and got some beef bacon sliced thin. Man, let me tell you, you crisp that thing up. Whew. Beef bacon. A lot of you from down south, you don't know what that is. But I'm going to tell you, beef bacon is absolutely delicious. All right, go ahead, sister. The floor is yours.
Yes, my name is Delise. I'm calling from California. And I just wanted to, I know we're not talking about the Colt 45 thing right now, but I did want to share with you guys that my dad recently was diagnosed with this, and on Saturday went into the hospital. And so anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know something that really stood out. I'm sorry about the dogs. Every time I call you guys, they start barking. But when you guys did an episode about how they're bringing foreign doctors to our country to put our people down, I just wanted to let you know my experience with an Asian doctor in a hospital here in Los Angeles. Okay. So, of course, I wanted to talk to my dad's doctor about what's his treatment plan. And I had been doing some research about a drug called budesonide. And apparently Oxford University just validated it, said that it's a direct resolution to an upper respiratory problem. And this is what this virus is. It causes inflammation of the lungs. And so I asked her, I said, well, have you heard about budesonide? And this is what she basically told me. And it just brought me back to what you guys are telling us about our country bringing in these foreign doctors. She basically said that we're going to give your dad the standard level of treatment in this country. Now, if you're from our country, why are you stating this? This woman stated this 3 times. We're going to give him the standard level of treatment in this country, which is antibiotics and a steroid inhaler. And I said, okay, well, I was really adamant about budesonide because, Oxford University just validated it. A doctor by the name of this doctor Richard, he's been going around different religious programs and on another show called The High Wire. His name is Dr. Richard Bartlett, and he said it's on every at every pharmacy. It's cheap, but see, there's no money in giving our people budesonide. So he's basically saying it's a silver bullet for when someone catches the code 45, and our doctors are refusing to basically treat the patients with that, and they're just going to continue to give people the standard level of care, which is another drug, dexamethasone, and that's it. And she told me 3 times, I'm going to give your dad the standard level of care in this country according to the CDC. Well, it's like, well, ma'am, over 500,000 people have died with this standard level of care. And if there's another way or another treatment, can we explore that? And she basically denied it. I put it on social media. Another friend of mine's mom said that she was denied budesonide as well, but she recovered. And then the doctor went to ridicule me. She said, well, because my dad has COPD and he's had TB before, she said, well, if you care so much about his lungs, why didn't he get the vaccination? And I said, well, you would have to ask him that, because I was trying to be really careful with what I said. And I said, and then she said it again, and I said, well, frankly, ma'am, we don't feel comfortable with your vaccination, with this vaccination. And then she said, well, how are you going to trust what treatment I'm going to give your dad? And I said, I trust that you're going to give him the highest level of care. And I had to get off the phone with her, and I just wanted to share that. And then within the same hour, the famous Marvin Hagler, the boxer, died of complications of the vaccine. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Love the show.
Well, I would have to say on that allegedly, but what I did see out there was a tweet that was put out there on social media by Hitman Hearns, who said well before Hagler died that was just asking people to pray for Hagler, because he was on the tweet before Hagler died. It said that he was suffering complications after taking the shot. Now, whether or not that attributed to what happened is alleged, but you can put 2 and 2 together. All right, 2 and 2.
Amen. I know
4.
that's right.
All right, so I just pray for the family, and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and
thank you.
Oh, is your father okay? Before you go, is he all right?
They've given him the drug they gave President Trump, that remdesivir, and which is kind of like an antibody treatment. They're giving him a breathing. They've got a breathing apparatus on him. It's really tough, but he's fighting, and we got up this morning, my sister and I, we prayed with him, and we're just trusting in the Most High and standing on God's promises right now.
Okay, well, what's his name? We'll put out a prayer for him.
His name is Derek Kelly.
Derek Kelly.
Pray for my dad, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right, bless you, sister, and thank you for the info.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right, 985 area code going down the line, then 985. Then we're going to 347.
Shalom, elders and family.
Shalom.
Elder, I wanted to know if it was okay if I read a few scriptures. They're really short, but it just touch bases on everything we're talking about.
Okay, we're going to give you 1 minute. Shoot.
All right. So the first one is John, the 6th chapter. Oh, I had it on my phone, but it went away. All right, well, I'm going to just go to what I have open. So I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, starting at verse 40. And it says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And I looked up the word pilgrims in the Strong's Coordinates, and it says pilgrim means to celebrate, to feast, to observe. And I'm going to drop down to verse 53 of that, and it says, let not the sinner say that he had not sinned, for a hire shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which said before the Lord a hire and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. And I'm going to drop down to verse 74, and it says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for a hire is your God, and the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord a hire. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So with that being said, Elder, I want to say that being chosen to me is more of a privilege. That in John 6:44, when it says that when Yeshua said nobody could come to me except the Father choose or draws them. So that's a privilege for the Most High that He has drawn all us to Himself. And we ought to all be grateful just for that, because think of how many people are out there who are not being drawn to Him right now. And so I just think that we all need to, like, during this week, meditate on that. And by that being said, always stay in a sense of repentance, because nobody is without sin. So we constantly need to be in a state of repentance.
Well,
and in closing, I just want to read.
No, sister, you ain't reading. Okay. That we thank you. You hit it home. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. I love y'all. Good night.
Thank you. All right. Some good stuff. 262 area code.
Shut up.
Hello.
Elder.
Hello. Ain't no fight going on over there.
Hey, y'all. I feel like I hit the lottery.
How you doing?
Fine. How y'all doing? This is Lanessa Terry calling from Wisconsin. I just want to say y'all broadcast was awesome. Woo, it hit home. I felt like when you was singing Abraham, you know how you start off and you go, woo! That's how I feel about the broadcast. That's all I wanted to say. Shalom. And may the Most High bless y'all.
Hey, I tell you, the Most High say we are peculiar people. All right.
That's right.
Hey, hit it. I'm going to tell you, all these different types of, I'm going to tell you, we have a different flavor, but everyone has their own unique spirit. You know, it's peculiar. 705. Let's go. 705. She did the James Brown on us. All right. Hey. I don't think she was prepared for me to take that call. She was telling somebody to, you know, it's a deep zone. 908 area code. 908.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Gathered of Christ Church.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. I'm calling because I'm just really struggling right now with my family members, like my sister, my only sister, only have one, and other friends who are just like, you know, falling into this victim of the vaccine, and they don't seem to see. And it upsets me because, like, almost every day I'm, like, crying because of it, because they're, like, scared and they're following what the science is telling them, even though science is sorcery, like you said. And even my husband, he's like, oh, well, all my brothers are doing it. And my brother's an engineer, and he's this and he's that. You don't know everything. You think you're so smart. You don't know everything. And I said, well, guess what? If you take the vaccine, you have to move out, because me and my daughters are not taking the vaccine.
Hey, there you go.
Okay? And he's so jealous of you guys. He said to me, oh, you really into those guys. You're always listening to them. It's like I only can listen to you guys when he's not around, because he's so into T.D. Jakes. and he heard you guys mention something negative about TD Jakes. Oh, they're talking about TD Jakes? Oh, how could they say this? How could they say that? You know, your mother was a Christian. You were a Christian. I said, well, when you know better, you do better. So I just almost feel like I'm like all alone with this because so many of my friends and families are just like constant, like, I don't care what I show them. They debunk it. They debunk it. They debunk it. And even though everyone is saying, oh, well, this is not really the mark of the beast, I feel like it is. And I'm a teacher, and they're trying to push teachers. So I'm like, you know, do I try to say, oh, I may consider the vaccine, or do I tell them the truth? I'm not getting the vaccine. Like, which one puts me as a target? And to be honest with you, I already feel like I'm a target because I've been following you guys through this entire pandemic. I haven't got any of my income tax returns, and they give me petty excuses about it. And I don't care about the money. I'd rather have my life, and I'd rather have a higher. But I want my family to be safe, and I want my children to be safe. And I don't want to lose my husband, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you're going through the ringer right now. How old are you, sister?
I don't mean to be vain. I look about 30, but I'm not 30.
Okay, well, you look around 30. That's good.
Can I just tell you something? I can't be too much older than you because you was up there talking about all of this stuff about how Vivian Fox was your like heartthrob. I'm like, what? I said, you got to be up there. And then you were saying some other stuff earlier today, and I was like, well, he look young, but he can't be as young as he looks.
Oh, thank you.
So I don't know. How old are you?
I'm kingdom.
Because it sounds like, you know, we've been neck and neck with some of these experiences you're talking about.
I don't know about this. I didn't say. I said that Vivica Fox was a heartthrob. She wasn't. I didn't say she was my heartthrob. Let's make it clear.
Let's straighten
that out. Let's straighten that right. Let's straighten that out like a line right now. But let's talk about it, right? Number one. If your husband be pleased to dwell with you. Matter of fact, let's get in Corinthians.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Yes, sir. You have a Bible.
Yes, I read the Bible, but he...
No, I'm asking you...
To be honest with you, he told me before we got married that I brought him to the Most High.
Sister, let's not talk about him. Let's talk about you. Do you have a Bible?
Okay. Of course.
Okay, because it really comes down to you, right? Because you're the one who could see. So
yes,
let's read this Bible concerning you. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Let me get it here. Verse number 12.
Read it.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord.
Come on.
If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
So if a man have a wife who believe not, the Bible says don't put him away. Read.
Jumping back to verse 10. And to the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
Let not the wife depart from her husband.
All right, jumping back to 13. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not.
And if you have a husband that believeth not, sister, that sound like he's talking about you. Read.
And if he be pleased to dwell with her,
he still love you. Read.
Let her not leave him.
Let her not leave him. Read.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
The unbelieving husband is cleansed by your prayer. Read.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Read.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
So it's your prayer that's covering your family. Now, you're in a more precarious, more so is the word, situation here, because you can't have no walking diseases up around you without being infected or affected. The Bible tell you that if one leave, let them leave, because you're not in bondage in such cases. If they leave following the devil, okay? Now, but I would never suggest that someone, leave their husband or wife, okay? So the Bible even says, y'all pray, even if y'all decide to separate for a time and come back, let Satan come in to, to tempt the flesh for your incontinencies. So y'all have to decide if y'all not going to be on the same page, y'all got to talk about what it means to be apart until y'all get on the same page if necessary. Then Christ lays down the hammer when he says in Matthew the 8th chapter, when he says, follow me and let the dead bury the dead.
Bury the dead.
That's the guillotine right there. First of all, if someone wants to be dead, that's their decision. Okay, it's not mine. You're not going to influence me or infect or affect me. So you have some serious. What you do have, sister, you do have some serious decisions to make, but you can't. But you can't make these decisions strictly. It seems like you're running a lot of things through your emotion, which is natural, but you really have to stand on the Most High and try to find another way that will have your husband understand. Okay, right now, you both are on either sides of the line, not budging. So, y'all, it's like friction with no one yielding, and that could be, a combination of things, even outside of this decision. When two people are together and love each other, even when they are against each other, there's a mutual ground y'all can come to. That would lead to some level of compromise. Like, so it's probably other things that he has a problem with, and because of that, he's not listening to nothing. A man can be stubborn. So you have to use your woman's charm and gifts that you have as a woman to get the outcome you want from your husband. You can't do it this way, because I'm sure there's other issues that he'll talk about outside of whether or not there's a vaccine. When it comes to
some things that you have, I'm sorry, some things you have mentioned.
I'm just saying, sister. What I'm saying is
some things that you have mentioned. For example, I have my Master's of Science in Education. I am a teacher. He doesn't have his degrees like that, but that doesn't affect my feelings for him. But sometimes I feel he's intimidated in that way.
No.
But I'm always there to catch him if he falls and to support him. So that's the only other thing I can see, because he'll always say, well, you think you know everything. And it's only because I do research and I seek the truth, and I also seek the Almighty's face. So he never read the Bible even before he met me. I read the Bible since I was 8 years old.
Sister, but here lies the true issue, right? Because, okay, you're all this. Where do he have a space to be the man of the house?
I let him. No, and I allow him, and I fall back.
See, but this is what I'm saying, sister. Listen, you let him. That means you're in charge.
Right? I don't think so.
No, listen, sister. I know, but if I'm letting someone, that means I have the power to let or not let. So, sister, you have to
because
realize,
I don't want him to feel, and I don't want him to feel the way you have been saying that men feel.
Sister, listen to me though, because if we talk the same time, we won't come to a resolution. You ask for an answer, and I'm about to give it to you. You got to you have to give him space, even if he make error, to feel like a man. Listen to what I'm saying. Not to feel, to be the man. Listen. If another man is talking online, I don't care how much truth he's talking, and he has more influence on my wife than me, then that's her husband. So don't worry.
I think that is the problem.
Yes, sister, but you keep in mind, your degrees, they're good for your job. But you got to pack all that stuff up and leave it at the job. And when you come home, you are a submissive wife. Nothing else.
That's what I try to do.
I'm saying, no, you can't try to do it, because that submissive wife is going to have her husband do everything she wants him to do, because he'll love doing it for her. and it'll be what you'll get more than just him not complying to a vaccine. You have to give him space to be that man, and you'll get everything you want. Believe me. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much. I just want to add a little humor before we end this conversation. Okay. I always hear the girl talking about the raw milk. I always hear about Sunshine. How they get through all the time and I don't. I just thought it was a little funny.
Oh, yeah.
I said, Sunshine always get through. I said, what connection she got? And this raw milk girl, I've been hearing her. I said, but I can't never get through.
Well, Sunshine have speed dial. You know what I mean? And I believe she be soon as it starts, she'd be like this with her cell phone, like waiting. Well, thank you, sister. All right, bless you. And I pray.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your feedback. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Shalom.
You know what, sister? You have the gift. You have the power with the understanding to actually use those submissive scriptures to your benefit. Believe me, there's nothing more powerful in this earth outside of the truth than a woman.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It makes me feel better. I've been shedding a lot of tears because of my sister and my niece and family members. You know, aunt telling me, oh, you can't come to my house unless you get the vaccine. And we've been going there every summer before the COVID. And it's just really been making me, sad about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to submit. I'm not going to do it. And I'm a teacher, and I'll be a blogger before I have to submit.
All right. Well, sister, hey, you know what I mean? You can catch bees with honey. All right?
Yes. And I want to be part of you guys' academy because one of my friends has been part of your academy since you guys first started. But it's because of my husband is the only reason why I haven't been able to do that. And
sister,
she's been praying about that for me as well.
Well, listen, you have the power. That's all I have to say. You have the power to be a submissive wife to where you and your husband, I've had these conversations before, and come to find out the husband comes around and be more into it than the wife he was fighting with initially. That's right. I've seen it.
That would be a blessing.
That would
be a blessing.
Sister, you're gonna have to humble yourself to him all the way. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless. I appreciate it. Shalom.
Shalom.
Praises to Ahaya. Amen.
Praises to Ahaya.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I can only take 2 or 3 more calls because I have to get up early. Let's see. All right, let's see. 718.
Shalom, brothers.
Shalom.
Such a pleasure to talk to you guys. My name is Shakir. I'm from the Bronx.
Bless you.
My father put me on. His name is Lasimba Nicholson. I just want to shout him out if he's listening. What's up, Dad? Me and my Isha is here listening to you guys, and we've been really edified by what you guys have been teaching so far. And just everything. We're catching up as much as we can because you guys have so much material over the years. We honestly, we're young. I'm 28 and she's 23, newly married. Been in this walk for a little bit over a year. Me personally, I went through a demonic possession from Baal.
Who in the back laughing? What's going on there? We got Dave Chappelle.
That's my Isha. Say hi.
Hi, shalom, shalom.
Yeah, she know the story. I told my testimony a lot.
What is she laughing at?
Because he always does this.
Yeah, I get around to telling my testimony just straight up.
So,
as I said, I'm in.
Okay. So she's laughing about your demonic possession. What's going on? What's happening there? I mean, you're gonna lead.
I know, right?
You're gonna lead with, I'm Legion.
Yeah. It was Baal. It was Baal. He put me through the work, but I gave my life up to Christ and my last minute.
I'm sure brothers and sisters would like to get some more in-depth detail on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, shoot.
Absolutely. Well, basically, I'm from the South Bronx. Out here, so, you know, in my generation, we lost, man. This generation is completely lost, to be honest with you. Out here in the Bronx, there's a lot of brujas and there's a lot of witches and warlocks in the Hispanic community. I grew up around a lot of that.
Okay.
And I was smoking, drinking, a lot of things that I feel will open up a lot of demonic portals in my life. Anger. So all those things eventually led me to a place where I was just susceptible to this demonic spirit. Apparently, it was after me for a long time.
Okay.
And then about the time I was 27, I believe, it finally manifested October 23rd, 2019.
How did it manifest? Let's get to the short of it. What was the manifestation?
So what happened was October 19th, I started having these episodes where I thought it was anxiety attacks. I thought there was something wrong with me physically, but I went to the doctor. They told me there was nothing wrong with me. I could go home and take an Advil. But I ended up...
Yeah, you've heard of those things before, right?
You can't trust these.
Yeah,
these
Yarack was telling me about this overseas, where there was a scenario where a brother thought that stuff was wrong with him in certain instances, and Yarack was telling him, no, it's all in your mind. And when the guy went to the hospital, even though he imagined all these things, the brother went to the hospital and the doctor told him, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So
man, there was something I did wrong with me.
So let me.
But to jump straight into it, like
you don't have to go.
I ended up getting fully possessed.
You got possessed.
Sorry.
Possessed. What do you mean you got possessed? Talk to me. What was that?
I mean, I was contorting. I was shaking. Like how is this word? Uncontrollably in the shower for like over 8 hours. There was like.
Yeah, that wasn't
doors flying open and closed. The mirror. I remember I was in the shower. I said, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then I started shaking, and like a movie. It's like a movie, honestly, like The Exorcist. And then just like, bow, bow. And then I jumped up out of the shower. My hair was in a ponytail. My hair started to get pulled out of the ponytail into the shape of like horns. I seen the face of like this Baphomet, like goat-like creature, like come out of the towel rack with like whatever was hanging in the towel rack. My mom had to anoint me in oil and all types of crazy stuff. And I was throwing the Bible. I stripped myself naked, pissing on the floor.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's
all types of
I didn't want this much detail, brother. I'm glad you seen the light.
Yeah,
you're cleansed now. Because what
happened was I ended
asked
up
for detail, but man, you going down a dark place right now.
You asked me, brother. You asked me.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave y'all,
man,
without.
Listen, when your hair went out of the ponytail by itself with the horns, I was out of it. I was phasing out of that.
That was a lot.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Okay.
But what I ended up doing was my mom ended up having me read out of the Psalms, and I was that kind of encouraged me. So before I laid in my bed and I pretty much died, to be straightforward with you.
Check it out, brother. Let me get your name. Brother. Let me have your name real quick.
Oh, my name is Shakir King from the South Bronx.
Okay. We're going to break down your number. We have to deal with a baptism. You ready to get baptized?
Oh, I would love to get baptized. The first time I got baptized with my mom, it was in the name of JC.
Okay, don't worry about it, brother. I got you. 718 area code, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I had a question for you.
Before you
the reason that
question,
I actually called, it was kind of it was kind of off topic, but
no, let's save your question for last because we only got a few more things. Who's that person?
Okay.
Who was that laughing? Just who's that? Your girlfriend? Who's that?
That is my wife. That's my Isha Amaya.
Okay, and she. Oh yeah. You told me earlier. All right. And you have shared this story with her before, correct? Yes?
Yeah, she's a part of this testimony. Me and her and my mother are walking in this faith right now.
Brother, just do me a favor. I understand you like giving detail. Just answer my question. You've shared that question with her. You've shared that experience with her, yes?
Yes.
Was she with you when that experience happened?
Yes.
Okay. And she think that's funny.
No, it's that's not specifically what she was laughing at, but she could speak for herself if you want her.
Oh no, I don't. So let me ask you. So, well, don't worry about it. I have your phone number. We'll talk one-on-one, okay? Because
that would be a blessing.
It's going to be good. It's great that you've called, brother. We're going to talk to you, and we have a great church out there in New York. So, get ready. All right.
I'm ready.
Let me. Okay, Shakur.
Man,
all right, my brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Bless you. Appreciate you. All right. Alrighty then. 985 area code. I'm sorry, Sunshine, I couldn't get with you today. I couldn't get yours today because I know you probably got it written down. But the next time we're on, you can start with your bullet points from today and work your way for the next broadcast. 985 area code. Let's talk. Nothing there. I may be forced to bring Sunshine on. I wanted to give somebody else an opportunity. 404 area code. 404.
Hello.
404 area code. How are you?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, I'm doing okay. Hey, Elder. My name is Victoria, and I'm from Atlanta. And I'm going to be very brief. I just wanted to go back to the overall topic. And I just wanted to say, like, when I realized that I was chosen, like when I started listening to you guys back in 2012, it kind of helped me guide everything that I do in life. And a lot of things that used to stress me out or depress me or cause me to, like, you know, like that would confuse me in the past about, like, just what's going on in general in society, like why Black people are being attacked or, you know, racism, where that comes from, or just anything, like anything that I was dealing with in life. Once I started learning about this truth, it just kind of gave me the answers for everything on a bigger scale and all the way down to, like, the smallest things, like about just changes I made in myself. And earlier in the broadcast, you mentioned something about, you know, just setting small goals for yourself and trying to reach those goals in the Most High, and it will make you, you know, I guess, live a better life. And that's currently what I'm doing now, and I can, like, attest to that. So I can definitely say that's true. So thank you so much for everything that you've taught me over the years, and I'm so happy to be a part of this this church. So thank you.
Sister, hey, it's a blessing with you being a part of this church, and it's about enduring into the end. Christ says, "Ye that endure unto the end, the same shall be. Ye that endure to the end, the same shall be saved." Excuse me. And many are called, but few are chosen. See, that's a whole thing. A lot of people believe that being called and awakened and understand we Israel, think that that's a automatic ticket to the kingdom. No. That's step one. You've awakened. Now it's to endure. Pick up your cross daily and follow Christ all the way to the finish line. I've seen so many people start with a lot of energy only to be what? Turned back. And it's usually based on their own desires or not understanding what this fully is. At the end of the day, I can only do what I'm doing. But it's upon you to build to a degree that you're strong enough to carry yourself over the finish line. And I've seen people, I've seen people that I've never had an offense with or never, and they would go back into the world and then they'll just hate my guts. I didn't have an argument, interaction, nah. But what it is I just kept going. So what people have to do is to justify where they are, standing still, stagnant, they have to now think in their mind or convince themselves that everything they learned from us or me personally is a lie. If they could now consolidate that into, well, it's that guy. It has nothing to do with God or Christ like I thought. They can easily walk away and think they're not accountable to what that guy is teaching. So it's really about enduring into the end. All right? So I'm gonna tell you, just like the brother was mentioning all these different dynamics of spirits that attack and all that, he was just saying it outwardly, how these spirits actually operate that you can see from the outside. And that's what I wanted to focus on when he says the hair started changing and all this stuff. But it's even worse, the spiritual demonic possession that's unseen, that come out in character flaws and how we interact with each other negatively. And that's what I wanted to highlight before I go, because that's why I didn't want them to go too far, because these spirits will have you doing all types of stuff, cutting yourself, doing all types of stuff, and who telling, where that road was going. But the more wicked and evil spirits are the ones that are not seen. That's the Most High had enough grace so that what he was dealing with was showing forth itself automatically. Help was needed immediately for what was going on. Because what? It was clearly seen that the brother had a demonic possession. But it's more worse. It's worse than when people have the demonic possession but are able to interact naturally as if nothing is wrong. These are the people that are always complaining, backbiting, always trying to cause conflict, confrontational. But then when it's aimed towards fixing it or getting to the bottom of it, they go dormant and act normal as if they're not starting anything. Those are the dangerous ones. So when it comes to goals and all that, like you were mentioning, sister, it really comes down to our behaviors, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to really go into what I'm going to talk about this weekend. So, all right. Well, thank you, sister, and thank you for your testimony, and thank you for your endurance. And it's about enduring. At the end of the day, I don't care what any man does to me or what anyone may feel about me. I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop based on any man or woman. Why? Because no one in this earth that I'm running into that is giving out crowns. I'm working for this kingdom. I know this kingdom to be true, and I know who called me to this work. And that's the mistake brothers and sisters make. They put more trust in people. When people disappoint, they now have an excuse to claim that it never was the truth because they didn't believe in the first place. They didn't believe. Their true belief was they were being enthralled, or they were impressed by a good speaker, by someone who could actually, oratate or go into the scriptures, or they were more so impressed than believing in the first begotten of the Father. So it's about enduring. Sometimes you can look at someone's gifts and be impressed and confuse that with belief. Okay, like, man, they go through the scriptures. Everything I'm thinking, they're hitting this, that, and the other. Guess what? It's not us. It's him. Thank you, sister. Bless you. All right.
Thank you.
So I guess thank you, sister. And it's good to hear sisters holding on, bringing forth, enduring in this time of trouble. Well, back by popular demand, through demand from the chat, they want to hear from Sunshine. All right, Sunshine, we're going to let you roll. And then we're going to end it out with...
Hello?
There you go.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, talk to us.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you, but I'll just say hi. I'm just so excited. I can't hear you, but I'll just speak just in case you can hear me.
I can hear
I'm
you.
so excited. Oh, Elder, bless you. Praise the Most High. I was just thinking to look at the media setup concerning Nick Cannon, it is a clear fiasco. The question is why it becomes so offensive for the rabbi when someone says he isn't a Jew. If, truthful, the rabbi would admit his people's conversion rather than claim a position, our position that doesn't belong to his people. But the offense seemed to be more than our people stating that he's not a Jew. More so the offense is that he and his people are being uncovered and all in the darkness will come to light. So the dagger to a so-called rabbi's heart or his people's heart doesn't lie in the comment that he is not a Jew. The problem they're having is that they're not the chosen people. And by our power, what was hidden for years that they knew would eventually come to light is coming to light. And after experiencing all that we've experienced where they have owned these black bodies that have been on the slave ships, the very common decency would be to tell us that we are the people. So now that our God has awakened us, when many a day the converts could have chosen to do what was right and they didn't, it's because they're in a borrowed position or maybe in a borrowed position, they feel grieved just to look upon us because just by our existence, knowing our true position according to Ahaya and us operating in righteousness, we make them feel perhaps inauthentic and esteemed as counterfeit. So the whole uproar from Nick Cannon to the jab is all about stopping us from what it is the Gentiles who have always conspired against us always knew, and that's that we are prophesied to become more as long as we operate in righteousness. So they're doing all this to prevent the day when our black men, the flock of the Most High's pasture, will become, after being tried like gold in the fire, the sons of the living God. And the Gentiles always knew that our power never forsook us for the promise to the remnant of Israel because he delighted in our fathers. Exactly like you said, elders, they remember that their subservience under us and the times we were the princes on horses. And because of that, when we fell, like Paul was talking about, the Gentiles got rich and they did not want to give up our position. They did not want to give up our horses. Through the times of the Gentiles will soon be to come in. So I praise the Most High for this opportunity to be obedient and to be a light unto the world and to set this upside-down world aright as we start first with ourselves. And me as a woman, and I'm so grateful for it. It's a wonderful thing to be humble and a servant unto my husband. And then our children, our families, our neighbors and friends, the black and brown communities, and also to the Gentiles who desire our kingdom or call by the Most High's name. And through that wonderful sacrifice that is Christ, our Yeshua, by grace of the Most High, we through baptism receive the Holy Spirit who guides us to know what the Most High is pleased with. So I'm so grateful for the gift, and I'm so grateful for Christ, who is the door that will lead us to the kingdom of heaven. And I'm so excited, elders, for the Passover. Oh, bless you. Shalom. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can hear me, but I said it anyway because I'm so happy.
Yes.
Shalom.
Shalom. You know what? You know what's good? This sister is always positive. And this is why some people ask, well, why do I? First of all, she's the first person that's always on in the queue. That's number one. Number two, sometimes I try to get other calls in. But one thing I do like about the sister is that with any of us, I mean, sometimes, with all the negativity in the earth, we just need, happy people. And that's a gift, you know what I mean? Because I feel laughter, I feel smiling gives us time. And I think anger and confrontation take days away. Some people ask, well, you know, a lot of people say, man, you look young. Y'all, you look young. You know why? Because I don't like the worry, and I don't like, I don't like stress, and I want peace. I want peace, and you know, and that's why I let the sister through the majority of the time, because the sister is always positive. Positive, okay? And the sister that did call in, I hope you really hear when it comes to, because, and I'm going to be going into that down the line, how sometimes we just have to make a space where a man can feel like he's a man in his own home. And I don't think women are doing it intentionally and usurping a certain level of authority. I don't think it's intentional. I believe that it's more the upbringing. Okay, I think it's the upbringing on either side. Men not grabbing the bull by the horns, as they call it, and taking control and being a man from the beginning, where women mature earlier and they're more so in control until a man don't really come into his own till he really up in his 30s and realize, okay, this is how this stuff works. You understand? So it's knowing when to let go and let that man say, okay, I'm in control. Mm-hmm. And I know it's tough, but we have to do it, especially, or we're going to always complain about the man who doesn't have his stuff together. Mm-hmm. We can't have it both ways, right? Can't complain about the man that don't have his stuff together and you don't give him space to know what it is to rule his house. All right. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. The Passover is going to be fantastic. Okay, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to meet our brothers and sisters. Of course, there's a few things we have to put in place rule-wise, strictly for the sake of we're still under some level of regulation, but are able to do the Passover nonetheless. All right, so we're going to see y'all this weekend at the Passover. May you be covered through the blood of Christ, and go into this weekend with a positive, loving spirit, a loving energy, because this is the week, this is the weekend that Christ was crucified for the sins of our nation. Okay, so let's humble ourselves before the Almighty in his throne and give all glory to the Almighty, and let's not come with any friction or leave with friction. We're not there for ourselves. We're going there to honor our King for this Passover. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High stay with you. And we have a new academy coming in a few weeks. We're just taking enrollments for the new academy. So yes, because we're in week 11 coming right in 2 weeks. So we only got about 2 more weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before this academy is over. So get your enrollment done. Go to historytimes.org. A matter of fact, let me throw it in here real quick, if I may. One moment. Go to historytimes.org. Hold on. Let me get it here. Let's see. One second, folks. Go to historytimes.org. One moment. historytimes.org. Okay. And I'm going to play this real quick, and I have one other announcement. Be sure that you can support the work by sending through your Cash App $ GOCC144 donate, and that's strictly for this broadcast. If you appreciate the content when we come before you for this broadcast, if you have Cash App, you would use $ GOCC144 donate, or you can go to gatheringofchrist.org under donate, which will give more options. Okay, I wanted to put that out there. Let me play this real quick, and then after that, we're gonna head out with brotherly love. Shalom. the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Okay, we thank you all, and we will end this with brotherly love. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. Sin not. That's the end of our blog talk. We will soon see Zion. Shalom.
So much pain, life took us separate ways. Both did some hurtful things, but it's not over. You know that we both care. So can we forgive and forget? I need you here. Remember the ups and downs, the trials we've been through. See, there is no one on this earth who can replace you, my brother. Life is too short, don't hold no grudges. No grudges, you are my blood. We must forgive and love each other. No matter what life throws at us, we must keep brotherly love. Searched high and low, where did you go? Pick up your phone, oh brother, do